Just like a tiny little bit.
There we go. Okay. I just want to see if it's streaming. Well, if it is streaming, well, I gotta hit record as well on our end here for all the clips and whatnot. But I believe we're streaming. I'm just gonna look at my channel. Go, yeah, live, bro. That shit is so stupid looking. The glasses. I
Can a
feel
Wigga live?
yeah, Wigga can live.
Can I get a little drip here and like not be hated on, man?
I feel you, bro. It's tragic out here for Wiggers like Travis Kelsey, former Wigger, banned immediately. This will stop immediately if you drop the W. You drop the W word.
We're taking his Wigger card away. You know,
I think you're right. I think it's got to be gone. Well, you know what this I was saying this earlier. You know what this reminds me of is Yuri LaForge. Since I was just at Comic-Con, great time. You only need one day there, by the way. You don't ever have to go like 2 or 3 days. At least in my opinion, you tee it all in one day, and you're like,
is it big there? Like what kind
yeah,
of building
it's
is
a
it?
Javits Center. It's like a giant convention center. So like, it's literally just a huge uh convention center in the middle of Manhattan
Well,
on the Hudson River.
I guess if you're kind of like a big
Hmm.
nerd, really into like a lot of the stuff there, maybe you need a few days because it's like, oh, I
Say
want to spend time here.
I was gonna say if you're say if you're like a cosplayer or something like that, that makes sense. Like that kind of makes sense for you to be like, okay, I got to spend like all day here or something like that. Like that makes sense. Like I saw some like really great stuff. Like I saw like a guy dressed as like a like Fallout. Like like the mech suits they had in Fallout.
Yeah, yeah,
Like the power armor. Like he was in a
yeah.
full power armor set and like he had like two of his boys that were like dressed as like the NCR, which is like the New California Republic in Fallout, which I think we'll see in season 2 of that show, but literally had two of his boys like walking next to him. It was pretty chill. Like it makes sense if you built all that, like say even like 2 years ago,
Yeah, yeah,
you're gonna go like probably like 2 3 times.
yeah, yeah.
Because you're like, dude, look how hard I worked at this. This is gonna be like the most people, like the most
This is your time
possible.
to flex,
This
you
is my
know?
time to flex
Yeah.
on and like I literally saw like I'll show you a picture. Like I saw like the best Doctor Doom I ever saw. Like a guy like this is what I would literally hope for. Like if Doctor Doom was like in the movie, you know what I mean?
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like I don't know if you guys can see that, but yeah, like that's pretty good in my opinion. Like he's got like he was a really tall dude. He was like taller than me. He was like 6'5". He had
Okay.
like the fur on. He had like a whole metal suit on, and everything like that. And he had like the Infinity Gauntlet, which I thought was like obviously a good choice, like a solid choice. Like I think there's some kind of comic book out there where um Doctor Doom gets the Infinity Gauntlet, but yeah, like that is like A+. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're just gonna
And
like
why would you, like it not only does it take so much time, but it probably
yeah
takes so much money. And why would you spend all that money, take all that time just to not show it off? You know what I mean? Like
I mean
you
yeah
might as well go for a couple days and
yeah
like show it
or
off.
maybe
There's probably a bunch of people there that are
right
fans of what you're doing if you're cosplaying like that seriously
right.
and whatnot. So it's like, yeah, you might as well. But I mean, for like the regular person, like,
Well, you could go like one day is dressed up, and then one day you go and be like, okay, I'm gonna go shop around because that's like pretty much the only thing you can do is like shop around and you can like test video games out or like like
are they new games?
yeah,
Like
they're like
games
games
that
that
are
are coming
gonna
out.
come out?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're games that are gonna come out. Like me and Kylie played this one that looks pretty cool. I forget what it was called. I think it was called like Nightmare or something 3 on like PS5. But it was pretty cool. It was almost like a little like 2D like platformer kind of game, but it had like really good graphics, like really dark, kind of rainy graphics. But she was
Yeah.
playing and I was watching her, and it was like really cool kind of game. And it's like, okay, this is pretty cool. Like, you get to play for like we got to play for like 20 minutes. We got to like just chill and like take a break and like
You have to pay to play.
yeah, it's cool. Yeah, you just try it out. And
Awesome.
like and they give you like a they give you like a keychain or some shit or like a lanyard. That's like well, here you go. Here's your gear.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anything to push it out there, you know.
Well, yeah, it's like these are the consumers, bro. Honest to God, you know what I mean? Like these are the people that are gonna buy the most shit out of anybody out there. I wonder if that rain's getting picked up.
I wonder that too.
I'm kind of curious. I know this is
I
not
bet
good.
you it is when we speak, and then when we stop speaking, it's not. We
Prob.
didn't even check the audio, actually.
They're gonna buy.
Oh, no, it's not bad. What?
It's just my face like talking with this stupid thing on. But yeah, I actually
Can a wiggle live,
yes,
man?
bro, yes. But I'm just saying, it's
Why
like
are you hating the
I think it's
trip?
funny, bro. I think it's mad funny. All right, and what I was getting at was like when one of the first Comic Cons I went to. All right, you don't know who Geordie LaForge is from start. Fucking,
That's fucking.
fucking idiot, bro.
Continue.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who fucking Geordie LaForty is or whatever. his
Geordie
name is.
LaForge
Yeah.
from Star Trek: Next Generation. But anyway, he's played by an actor, LeVar Burton, who I met. Here, I'll pull up a picture of what Geordie LaForge looks like because you'll be like, okay, this is why it reminds you of it. Um, like this dude looks like this, bro. People know who he looks like. He's got the visor, bro, all the way across.
He looks dope. He got drip.
Yeah, he does.
He's got motion.
No, he
man.
does. He does.
He's got
But
motion.
One of the first Comic Cons I went to, I met him. I got an autograph from him.
You what?
I met him.
You got an autograph, you said? Or-
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I have a signed like photo of him from the show up there.
It's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. So this is what reminds me of it. And I was
You
like,
jerk off to it. At
yeah, I jacket.
Yeah, you
Jacket to that picture.
Yeah.
Michael Dorn, who played Worf.
You just love black men.
William Shatner. I got him too.
No, that's cool. That's cool.
The only autograph I got yesterday was or not yesterday, last Friday. Was I was walking. I eventually like lost our friends. I was just with my girl, and we were walking and stuff like that. And like I was just like looking around, and there was like this long. You actually would have liked this actually because this is pretty cool. There's like this long table of like random like old actor dudes. So there was like a guy from The Last Dragon, which is like a kind of famous like kung fu movie from the '80s. There's the dude who played. There's a guy who played. He was in the original Mortal Kombat movie.
Ooh,
From the '80s. Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
yeah, he was there. And then there was two actors from the movie The Warriors, right? Which I don't know if you know that movie, but it's a big movie from the
Well, we were
70s.
talking about it.
Yeah,
You were telling me about that because you were like talking to this guy, right? Asking him like, well, what was it like
yeah. What was it like?
being an actor in like 1979 and like the early 80s, right?
Hmm.
Which was probably the best time.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say that's probably like the height of your powers, you know,
Yeah.
essentially, like as like an actor, like every kind of like era has like a media job that is like the absolute height of its powers. Like I would say 80s, 70s or 80s, like it's probably a tie between rock star and movie star. The 90s, it's definitely rock star, 100%.
Yeah.
2000s, still think it's like music people,
Yeah, it's
But-
like a pop star at that
pop
point.
star or a reality TV show star, realistically,
Yeah.
right? You know, remember where we live, but and then the 2010s and 20s, it's obviously YouTubers and streamers. That's obvious. But I was just talking, like he had no line, and I was just like, oh, okay. And I walked up to him and I started talking to him, and he was just telling me all about like these stories from back in the '70s working. Like he was like, yeah, I was in a play, and like everyone I knew, like we were working every male because it was almost all male cast.
Yeah.
For the Warriors. He's like, yeah, every guy I knew that was in the play, like we all went out for it. I auditioned, like it took like a couple hours, and I didn't get it at first, and then they called me back, and then I did get it, but I had to do the whole audition all over again. So it was like a whole process. He's like, yeah, and then afterwards, it was like I was like a big deal for a little bit, and then I wasn't basically because
Yeah.
there's not really like too many famous people from that movie.
But realistically, being like a big deal just for a little bit probably set him up for life, I'd imagine. Like if he's at
Yeah.
Comic Con,
Yeah.
Running a stand or whatever.
I mean, he's making $50 every time he talks to like some guy like me,
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, he was like, like that's just how it is. I mean, I don't know. Like, I saw this clip with Bill Maher and Seth Green. You know who those guys are? Yeah. Chris Griffin from Family Guy. So like they're talking about. There's like this great clip from their like podcast. I didn't watch the whole thing, but they were just talking about how
Chris Griffin, by the way, is the greatest.
he's the best character.
He's the
Family Guy.
best character.
Yeah,
By
absolutely.
so much.
My favorite
I mean,
line,
like-
my favorite Chris Griffin line is like, "Get that cigarette out of the shot. kids are gonna be watching this, and they're filming a porno in his high school.
Yeah, I know what episode you're talking about. Because
He's like,
he finds out the
yeah,
principal is filming porn
yeah,
in the high school,
yeah, yeah.
and like,
He's like, cut, cut, get that. Yeah, it's just so funny. It's just such a, but because it's so true, you know. But
I really like just when well, yeah. Well, I mean, actually, no, wait, how is that so true? Where it's like,
we all watch porn underage. Every single one
oh,
of
you're
us.
talking about, okay, I thought you were
Yeah.
saying it's true that get the cigarette out of the shot because kids are gonna watch this. Not that kids watch porn. I thought you were saying it's bad for cigarettes to be in porn
Yeah. No, but it's.
because kids watch it.
I mean, I think that was like the joke because it's like, yeah, like
Well,
kids are
yeah,
gonna
that was
watch.
the
Yeah,
joke.
kids are gonna watch this and
But
like.
no, I'm saying I thought you were being serious about that too when you were like, yeah, like it's true.
Well, I was
Like,
saying it's true. Yeah, but I was just saying it's true because like we like our whole generation like watch porn underage. Like every male,
yeah,
like every
even
single
the
person.
generation before us,
Right.
really.
Right. I mean, yeah. But yeah, they were talking. Bill Maher and Seth Green were just talking about how like if you're an actor, right, even especially like a young actor, like a young male actor, young female actor, and you get famous off a show, right? Like say you're, this is like yesteryear kind of talk, but say you're on a show that's like a famous sitcom or like a Nickelodeon show or some shit like that, and then you just aren't famous or aren't working anymore and you're broke. There's like no like really you can't like go get a job. You know what I mean? Like, you can't like really do anything. There's the guy from Harold and Kumar. He talked about this. He was like, yeah, like after the movie came out, like I didn't make that. I wasn't paid at all for that movie. He was like, I was paid like 20 grand.
Yeah,
Like like they bought my script for like 30 grand. They paid me like 28 grand to be in the movie, and I still had to work. And then
yeah,
I go to Starbucks and I'm trying to work, and they're like, and the idiot stoner goes, "Dude, you're the guy from Harold and Kumar," and he won't hire me.
yeah.
It's like fame. He's basically the point they were trying to make is fame is associated with money. So like when you don't have money but you're famous, you're kind of fucked.
Yeah. No, 100%. I mean, like it causes like it can cause so many issues for like a standard business where it's like, you know, if you're controversial, let's say you're political and you
Right.
work at a business and people are going to recognize you, that could affect the business because people will get so emotionally attached to stuff like that. And then
Oh
on
yeah.
top of it, let's say you're not and people just love you,
Hmm.
that's still probably going to slow down the business. Like if you wanted to work at a Starbucks
Yeah.
and every like third person's like, "Yo, you're that guy from that movie.
Right.
Yo, that's so cool." And they're talking to you, and there's like a giant line. It's like you're slowing down business now. So
Yeah.
it's like it kind of it makes sense, you know. I completely understand as to why a lot of like just like play like see like it'd be different. Let's say if you had a degree and you had a job like as an accountant at a
Mm.
desk job where you're not dealing with people, but it's like let's be realistic.
But I mean, even like
These
that.
actors don't have that. They don't have an accounting degree. They don't
No,
have a
I mean
CPA.
they
You know, like
right.
their whole thing is acting, and
Yeah. Well, they
they got
dedicate
to
their
make
whole life.
money. Yeah, exactly, and they got to make money when the acting's not giving them money. So it's like it just like
Yeah.
fucks them almost in a sense, depending,
And hey,
depending,
you could be like
because you could
again.
be the next big thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, then
But
look what happens when like you're an old man and stuff like that. Like, and I don't feel bad for this guy really because he's not like a really great movie, and he'll always be a part of film history. But he's at a Comic Con like hanging out probably 4 days in a row, just at a booth like, and like not too many people know him. Like his line was empty. Like when I walked up to him,
yeah,
and he was like,
yeah.
and Kylie was joking about it. She was like, "Yeah, he put that $50 bill right in his pocket when you gave it to him." I'm like, motherfucker's gonna go get himself a coffee and a sandwich after this. Just
Yeah,
feel good about himself.
yeah. He made $100 that
Yeah, I mean, who knows? He could have. I don't. Yeah,
day.
he could have. He honest to God could have. And yeah, it's just one of those things where you're just kind of like, yeah, like you don't know like what the deal is like with some of these people and stuff like that. Like that guy could be not working like at all. We could probably look up his IMDb right here and like see like what's the last thing he's been in. And it could be literally like, well, I was in some crap from the '80s as a guest star, and then that was it.
Dude, you can look at too, like it's the same with musicians. Like I don't know, you might not know the name. I
Hmm.
love McConan,
Yeah, I
right?
don't know the name.
But you know the song with Drake, Tuesday.
Of
It's
course.
like in the
Yeah.
club going up
Oh yeah, that guy.
on
Yeah.
a Tuesday. That guy
Yeah.
was kind of recently seen. He's like just working at a restaurant.
Oh yeah. I
And it's
believe
like
it.
that dude had a mass. Now I don't. I'm not. I didn't look into it too much. I don't know if maybe that was like a stunt, or if maybe that was you know, maybe he owns the restaurant. I don't know. But
I mean,
if it's not one of
yeah.
those two things and he's just working there, like it's the same. It's like, dude, like this man had one of the biggest songs to ever be created for like a short period of time.
Right. His song was like going off and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah,
honest to God.
with one of the most generational modern artists, Drake,
Mm.
and like he's working at a restaurant, you know,
Yeah, it's fucked,
because
bro.
it's like, yeah,
It's fucked.
because it's like, what else is he gonna do?
No,
He
I mean
doesn't make
it's
he makes music, but he doesn't make music that people really want to listen to.
yeah, exactly. Where it's like he had you like it's the classic term of the one hit wonder. You know, you literally have one hit and that's it. It's like these guys that are like I saw like a post on Instagram where it's like the famous memes from the past, like you know, you remember the crazy girlfriend meme, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
or like the bad luck Brian, like these are old. This is like 22 years ago old
Yeah.
meme, and like probably people don't recognize him anymore, but like right for a time he was like just that's bad luck Brian, you know, like or like,
What's interesting about memes too is they make no money off of it.
no, of course not.
The guy that's a part of a meme is not
You
making
don't think you don't think
money
yeah.
off the fact that like you put words over it to make a joke out of it and then posted it on like Instagram or Facebook. And like we're talking about old memes, you know, like iFunny,
Yeah,
you know, like back when iFunny was like the fucking shit.
no, you're absolutely right. But it's like you ever think about like the big meme that you see is like Leo DiCaprio like pointing like from like the chair. He's like whoa look at that. Like you ever see that meme?
No,
You
I'm
know
not
he's in
gonna
like
lie.
the yellow shirt.
Why don't you show it to me?
Sure.
I don't. It's not ringing a bell. I'm assuming it's. Is it like a huge meme or is it just something you see because you're so into like actors and stuff like that? I know what you're talking.
And
Yeah,
also
yeah.
this
My
is
bad.
this is also a
My
meme
bad.
as well of Leo and also from the
Yeah, yeah.
Tarantino
That
movie.
is too.
It's like, don't you think in his brain he's like, God damn, if I can just get like a fucking 10 cents every time they fucking posted that, or five
Oh,
cents,
dude.
or 1 cent, or three-quarters of a cent, if someone posted that, he's probably thinking,
Yeah,
God, like why? You know, that's me, that's my likeness.
but that would be pretty evil if that happened.
I agree. I agree.
Because
I don't
if
think
that
that'd be
happened,
good.
that means that social media is going to become more monetized than it already is through the social media itself. Where it's like, all right, and now that's affecting the people that post it. Where it's like, all
Yeah.
right, Instagram has to, or if you want to post something on Instagram,
Oh,
like a
wait.
meme,
What's happening? Because YouTube is not refreshing.
we all good?
I don't know. It says we're live, so
Okay. But if that were to happen, somebody
stream status
would,
poor. So yeah, it's like, but
maybe it's the weather.
it could be the weather. Could be the weather, but let's see here. Sorry, everyone. Whoever's watching. 0 people.
Everyone, yeah.
Everyone. One human. So we're gonna connect the hotspot real quick.
Oh, you weren't on the hotspot?
No, I wasn't on the hotspot originally. So now we're up. Now we're up and going right now. So
But
we're good.
if that were to happen,
Yeah.
if you wanted to post a meme, you'd have to get the rights to it. And then
Yeah.
Instagram would have to see that and be like, all right, now we got to send this guy that like really owns the rights to it, the money that would be owed. Like you know, I hate the thought of like not being able to like you should be able to post pretty much whatever you want, um, as long as it's not like full like a full movie or like a full show or whatever. Or if it's like, you know, obviously if it's like gruesome and like that
Yeah, there's gonna
depends
be like
on
standards on like YouTube.
like yeah, like you know, like the website that you posted on, but that's
Right.
different. That's different.
Twitter's
Because it's
like
like, you know, if I
Twitter's
want
like
to post a little clip, like a little like 3-second clip of a movie, like I feel like
right.
I should be able to.
Right.
You
No,
know,
of course, that's
it's
like
not
fair
like
that's fair use. That's what like Say if you're a guy that
Yeah.
reviews movies on YouTube, that's what you do all fucking day long. Is like you're showing clips from the trailer, or showing clips from the movie, like, and it's just fair use. You're talking about the movie. Like, what else are you supposed to? What are you supposed to show in front of it? Like your dog or something like that. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, you know. But just the joke I was gonna make. Yeah, you go on Twitter. It's like here's your Chinese carcass in the street. You know, you can check out.
Yeah.
Well, you know, yeah, it's free speech. You know,
Yeah.
it's severed. Guy cut in half in China. People are stepping
Yeah.
over him. I got to go to work.
And his
Yeah,
guts are all over the concrete.
yeah,
Like,
I
speaking
got to
of
go to work.
dog, have you seen you know who Hassan is?
Hassan Piker. Yeah, yeah. I
You see
saw.
what's up with him?
I heard he was. I saw just a video of him yelling at his dog, and people were like, he yelled at his dog, which I was kind of like, whatever about. Right.
No, it's more deep into that.
Okay. Was he beating his dog?
He's shocking his dog. He has a shock collar
Shot collar for the dog?
on his dog. Now,
This asshole doesn't have time to train his dog.
this gets really interesting because people kind of always wondered how Hassan's dog would always sit on its bed throughout the entire stream, right?
Right.
Uh,
Oh my
And
god.
then people are like now going back through his other stream, wearing one of those spiked collars, like inverted spikes, so that every time it acts up, he could pull on it and it'll stab it in the neck. And then the craziest part to me, right,
Hmm.
is that after all this backlash, all this hate, he during one of his streams, he's like, "All right, like since you like pussies won't shut up, like here's the shock collar. Like there's no prongs in it. Like it doesn't shock, it just vibrates.
No.
Um it's just used for training, like that's it." And then like and he like barely kind of showed it. Like he's being real weird about it. And then
Yeah.
people paused it when he did show it,
Yeah.
and they found that he put a piece of tape over the prongs, like a black piece of tape to hide them. And then people found the exact model of collar, and they were like, "This is a shock collar," and and he's just lying about it. He literally like abuses this dog, shocks it into submission to sit in its bed behind his stream for like 6 hours at a
For like
time.
aesthetic
For
purposes?
yes, exactly, for aesthetic purposes.
That's horrible.
And he like there's so many clips of it. There's actually a clip of him with a dog trainer with a dog, and she's like, "Well, when you have a leash on a dog, you should be able to have 2 fingers width distance
Yeah.
between like the dog and the leash. Like you should be able to get 2 fingers in there, you know?" So it's like this. Like here's like this, let's say this is the tightness of a collar. You should be able to get 2 fingers in there relatively easily, so it's not too tight.
Right.
And she was like, "This collar is way too tight."
Look at this poor boy
She was
out.
like, "I can't even get a finger under here." And he like jokes like, "Oh, it's not tight enough,"
Yeah.
which is nuts, bro. It's like I don't know. That's like like I know like I've never liked Hassan. You know,
Yeah.
he's like a left wing bitch moaning like idiot.
Well, I mean,
You
I
know?
never really liked him because he's one of those. Well, I always thought he was kind of goofy. Because he's one of these guys that's like, you know, like we're two normal looking dudes. I feel, but
Yeah.
he's one of those guys that's like really into how he looks and taking
Yeah.
pictures of himself and whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when
No,
you're
he is
like,
like that.
and when you're like one of those guys who are on the internet and you're taking pictures of yourself and you almost want to be a model and you almost want like your face or like your look or your whatever to be like iconic or something like that, or like, yeah, I want people to just like recognize me. You're just like doing these like H&M fucking PacSun like kind of faces where you're like obviously like just an LA kid, like idiot.
Yeah.
And again, his opinion is kind of trash anyway. Um, but like, yeah, like just goofball shit. Just honest to God, like strange stuff.
No,
And
he's literally a
and
low IQ idiot that
yeah,
has to dress up to try to like impress his audience to get that sort of vibe of, oh, like I'm a somewhat healthy guy and I dress nice and I have strong opinions
right,
and my opinions are important, so I need to spew them to the idiots that listen to me.
right,
Oh, and I also have I abuse my only pet or my pet
right.
for aesthetic reasons because everything needs to be perfect. And I need to show that I'm such a good dog owner that my dog wants to sit behind me on its bed the entire 6 hours,
I'm just
8
such a
hours
I'm
that
such
I'm
a good
streaming.
guy. Like I'm
Yeah,
handsome.
yeah.
I'm girls like me, and my dog loves me so much. He's sitting here for my whole 6 hours of sitting here streaming, and it's like,
Meanwhile, his dog gets up and he's gotta like hit it with like fucking Zeus's hammer strikes down every time. And it's like you just think too, like you see these
yeah,
videos of these dogs that people have, they put like a little like camera, like GoPro or whatever on their dog's collar. And it's like they let it like leave the house, roam out to the beach, it takes a swim in the ocean, it comes
right,
back, it like
right.
chases a squirrel, it comes back, eats its food, and it's like then it's like, look at this dude's dog. It's like, oh, it sits in one spot, isn't even allowed to stretch. It gets up to stretch, he reaches over, he shocks it.
I mean, he's probably just like,
And
remember,
he's an idiot. And he's a fucking idiot.
right? Yeah, I mean, 100%. But like, you remember those like stories of Ellen that came out like a couple years ago, where like she was like a control freak, she was like abusing her staff and everything. It's the same thing with this dude. Like, he probably has made so much bread, right? He probably makes a shit ton of money on stream because like
Yeah.
there's a lot of people out there that love watching a guy like, sit there and like play GTA and like talk about why this is happening, whatever.
Yeah.
They like listening to this guy, right? And like he's probably so obsessed with the way he looks, like we were talking about earlier, where it's like to the point where he's just a control freak. He's just utterly like a
Yeah.
control freak. He can't help himself but to be like, okay, like how do I get the dog to sit here naturally and just lay here as literally like a prop? He's got all. He probably has one. I know. I have
Yeah,
not
it's a
watched
prop.
this. Yeah, I have not watched his stream really. I've only seen clips of it. I'm sure he's got like shit in the background where it's like props or whatever, like for people to look at in the
Well, it's
background of
just,
the stream.
it's his
It's
nice little like
like
room
bedroom. Yeah,
background,
yeah. So that's part of the prop. That's part of the set. Is like the dog sitting
Yeah.
there, and people are gonna be like, "Oh, I love the dog," and like the dog can become a fucking sticker on Twitch or like a stuffed animal or something like that. Or I don't who God knows what. God knows what like what he's like going through his mind. But he's got like media brain where the guy is he's so obsessed with the way he looks and like how can he kind of like keep an audience and maintain his image with this dog that he's like abusing it with a shot collar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's not really made for the shot collar is more for like don't the dog shouldn't run away.
Yeah, and
You
shock
know?
collars made for like like people that use shock collars normally have like show dogs, you know?
Mm,
Got to put them through these intense this intense training to get it to do very specific things, which isn't like really great necessarily either. But yeah, good uses for it is so that it doesn't like run away, so that it doesn't
right,
attack other animals, other
right,
dogs, other cats, other animals in general.
right,
And he's literally just like shocking it every time it moves pretty much while he's streaming.
right.
He was complaining that like, oh, like the dog's issue was that when he was away, the person watching the dog was letting it roam the house. Like, what
Where's
the
he supposed
fuck do you mean? Yeah,
where's the dog supposed to go?
what is like I like are you like what happens? Like he streams, the dog sits in its bed, and then what? Is he like throw it in its cage
I guess so.
after
Probably.
the stream? Like, yeah, you can't
Probably.
fucking roam the house. Can't do
Probably.
shit. Like, what's the dog gonna do? Like, what is it gonna like file your taxes wrong? Like, what's it
What is
gonna
it yeah,
do?
what is it God forbid what gets a drink of water?
Yeah, like
Like, like what's
yeah.
gonna happen? But I mean again, like this guy is just like I think he's just a control freak. That's just probably what's it. I mean,
Yeah,
if you're
people have
saying
been
it's
saying that he's like narcissistic and
oh
that
yeah,
like
that's easy
that
though.
like yeah, I mean
That's
yeah. I
easy.
mean like I don't like using that term because I
Right.
feel like that term is thrown around too loosely,
I agree.
you know?
Like girls will have a bad boyfriend and
Yeah,
they'll be
yeah,
like
and
he's
they'll
a
be like, yeah, he's a
narcissist,
narcissist. Yeah, yeah.
and
Yeah, he
like
only cares about himself. He never cared about me.
oh okay. Yeah, but
Yeah, all right.
whatever. We can get into that another time, but it's like,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, again, the guy's like I was saying earlier, he's taking pictures of himself, you know, like he's
Yeah.
obsessed with his image. He's wearing like little goofy, oversized graphic T-shirts with like little pearl necklaces and like painting his nails like pink or black.
Yeah.
He's a guy's a fool, bro. You know what I mean?
He
Like
is an idiot.
he's a fool. But
Complete idiot.
what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean that's just
What's
crazy.
crazy too is like he's got a fan base that just like sucks his dick so hard.
I mean, that's like so many. That's so
So
many like
hard.
streamers. Like the top, what is it? Like the top 4 or 5 streamers. Like that. Like I think of like iShowSpeed or like Kai Cenat, or even like you bring up like we were watching the one time we were watching Nick Fuentes' stream, and it's just like these guys are just like verbally blowing him. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
saying they're saying anything in that pops in their head that sounds like, yeah, this is this is what Nick wants to hear. He wants to hear about Europa and whiteness. And it's like, yeah, he probably does want to hear about that, but it's like
Well, that's what I like
you're
about
just a cliche.
that's what I
You know?
like about Nick is like he calls that shit out. Where he's like, fuck you, why are you glazing me? Like there's a really
Yeah.
funny clip recently of someone was like, "Oh, like my third kid's on the way. Like I plan to homeschool my kids. What should I teach them? What's the subject?" He's just like, "Shut the fuck up. Are you kidding me?" And then he goes to play like the next chat, and he like stops it, and he's like, "Are you an idiot?" He's like, "Oh, teach him about the Holocaust."
Yeah, first day. I
Yeah.
plan to homeschool him.
He's like, "Bro, like math, history, science." He's like, "What the fuck are you like? What do
You're
you?"
better off
He's like, "I'm
if
not even
you're
an education like major or anything." He's
yeah.
like, "Why are you asking me what to teach your kids? How dumb do you have to be to not know what to teach your kids? You teach them math, history, science, fucking." He's like, "Oh yeah, teach them to hate Jews. Teach them to hate Jews."
Well,
Yeah.
it's like if you're asking a streamer like, what do I teach my kid? Just send them to the public school at that point. They
Yeah,
probably
like
have a better idea than you. Like, hey man, here's $30. What's the first lesson should I teach him? Should I teach him about 9/11 conspiracies or flat Earth? What do you think? Send him to school, bro. Like, you're
Yeah,
fucking a
like
buffoon. But
yeah, at that point, public school is gonna
yeah, you
do
might
it
as well just
better.
yeah, go ahead. Flashcards with uh how to read. That would be better. But anywho, let's get to what you have written here. I want you to
Yeah,
read
let's
this.
get to the
I
news.
want you to read this.
Nah, we don't.
Well, no, you should. Well, at least show
It's
them
so
that
hard
you
to
typed
see.
it.
We have like no light.
Yeah, it's a little dark in here. It's like a
It's
cat.
all
It's like a cabin in the woods.
right.
You know.
So Donald Trump, the peace president. Let me start on that.
Well, to some degree, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my dad's upstairs watching Fox News, patting himself on the back, saying, "Yeah, Donald Trump. This is his greatest moment in his presidential history. This is the greatest. This will be. He was telling me this will be remembered for. This will be like you know, on the same level as you know, Franklin Roosevelt, us getting involved in World War II, or us getting peace, or Truman dropping the bomb, or JFK like avoiding the Cuban Missile. This will be in the same vein as that, but it's like literally what happened was that in Qatar, where Trump and his son-in-law have all these business investments, what started
Yeah.
happening was Israel started bombing Qatar. So they were bombing Trump's money,
Yeah.
and Trump was like,
This,
yeah, let's wrap it up.
yeah. Yeah. This.
That's my money out there getting blown up,
Well,
you know?
it's. I don't know. It's like Trump has been known to kind of be like the peace president to like people who actually like follow what's going on.
Mm,
Like he's not the like start a war kind of guy.
no,
And he likes to end wars. He likes being like Trump one shows he likes being friends with who he can be. He met with Kim Jong Un. He met with Putin
right.
multiple times. Him and Putin are like boys. Um,
Well,
but it's
that's
just like
what,
it's
yeah.
just like retarded too, because it's like if you look at like the deal
Mm,
made to stop Israel from attacking Palestine in general,
mm,
it is like so in Israel's favor, where it's like sections at a time, Israel's going to remove their troops, back up, remove their troops, back up, remove their troops. That's pretty much what it is. The Palestinians, Palestine, like they're fucked. First of all, it's like 80% of their infrastructure completely wiped.
I was gonna say, if you look at like what
Um,
they're coming back to, it's like just straight up rubble.
but it also says in the deal that Israel can just like strike again if they want to. If they really want to, Israel could start this war right back up.
They're already
And
talking
on
about
top
it.
of that, it's like again,
They're already talking
they're
about it though.
removing at it like piece by piece. They're not just leaving.
Hmm.
So it's like here's like a small part that has no IDF soldiers in it. But the rest still does. And they're gonna go back again. And it's like, all right, now slightly more doesn't have any IDF soldiers, but the rest still does. And it's like, what are these IDF soldiers doing while they're
Well,
still in there? You
it's
know,
to
like you
just
can't
it's
trust
yeah
anything that they say
yeah.
because it's like, we don't know, we're not there. There's probably no footage of it.
Why are they filming
Yeah, why would they film it?
it?
Yeah. So it's like it's weird, and on top of that, yeah, like you said, the truth. Like they're talking about even trying to just like not end the war.
Well, they're starting. They're the talks that as soon as Trump like showed up, because Trump went to like the Israeli basically like Congress and like made a speech and was talking about how great this was and great how great Netanyahu was and yada yada, and that's like
Oh,
all.
how they should pardon it, yeah.
Yeah, you saw that. That's pretty good because he's got a bunch of
Yeah,
shit on
he's
criminal
asking the yeah he's
charges.
asking the president of Israel, hey, why don't you pardon this guy?
This is my boy right
I
here.
like this guy. You know, he's gonna go down as one of the greatest wartime leaders of all time. It's like, bro, like you sent IDF soldiers to like literally like rape children in front of their parents. Like,
Good leader, bro.
yeah, like what are we talking about
Yeah,
here?
yeah.
Like,
No, it's actually insanity.
it's
Like,
insane the grip that Israel holds over the United States.
no, it's insane. But I mean, like, this is the only way it could have possibly got done. I think in a lot of people's opinions, where they're like, hey, like, you know, like there's no way other than Trump showing up and being like, hey, wrap it up. Like, that's literally the only thing. Is like, and that's how many of these conflicts get like settled with Israel. Is like an American president has to kind of like yank the leash, basically.
Yeah.
Say, hey, we gotta like chill with this.
Well,
Like,
there's like a power exchange between the two, right?
yeah,
Because it's like Israel is obviously like nothing compared to the US, right? All its military is us. All its money is us. It's like the size of New Jersey, a
mm,
small state or like a mid-sized state in the country.
mm,
So it's like realistically, politicians in power right now could be like, hey, you need to stop this or we're not going to support you anymore.
right.
But they're never going to do that as of right now. With the people that have been in the United States government for the past like 50, 60, 70 years, they're never going to do that because of the Jewish lobbyists
Mm,
and the way like all these nonprofits work and
mm,
whatnot. And on top of that, like media control in general. But like, you know, these lobbyists, nonprofit charities and whatnot run by these like Israeli Jews are like, hey, like, you know, you do this for me. You give me $10 million through the government, though. It's not like you're personally giving it to me. You give me $10 million, and I will personally give you 1 million to you directly.
oh yeah, or your
So it's like, oh
campaign.
yeah, or
Yeah,
your campaign, but not even just your campaign, just you directly. It's like, yeah, I'm
yeah,
gonna give you this much money
yeah.
that you can put right in your pocket,
Of course.
and you give me $10 million that you don't even see, you don't touch, you don't know about pretty much.
Yeah.
And it's like all these that's why it's like 98.5% of politicians in office right now are pro-Israel, Republican or Democrat, because they get so much money from these people.
Yeah.
They get so much money. And as soon as they stop, as soon as they're like, fuck the Middle East, fuck Israel, then that money's gonna halt. And they're never like
Well,
it's just human nature,
then they're gonna
dude.
have a
It's just
challenger for their seat. Like, say if they're a congressman, like a competitive district or something like that, like a purple district or something.
yeah.
You know, then they're gonna get challenged for their seat. That's what's gonna happen. And then that pack, that money that they would have gotten if they just would have fell in line, it's gonna go to the competitor. And if
Yeah.
you've got $10 million more in campaign funds, like you're probably gonna win the fucking race. I mean, that's just the truth.
Yeah.
You know, like you're probably gonna win the race because money gets you just so much more stuff. It gets you more signage, more commercials, like more everything, more exposure. I mean, you can like then change like people's minds basically. Be like, yeah, you know, we're like Like I'm the guy, bro. Like I'm the, whatever. Doesn't really matter. But yeah, I mean, it's just it's horrible. I mean, we already kind of know this. Like we already know all
Well,
about.
I think there's a scary aspect to it too, of the
Mm,
fact that like Jews kind of own all the banks of America, and it's
yeah,
so easy for them to close accounts and like be like, I'm not giving you your money because legally they can. So it's like I think
right.
that's a big aspect too that people don't talk about enough because that money's old, man.
Uh,
That goes back to like hundreds, maybe even like 1,000 years ago of just like one family running the money, running other people's money.
you're talking about like Rothschild stuff and whatnot. Like,
Yeah, I mean, there's like that, there's like other families too and whatnot that
mm,
like just kind of do that where it's like, all right, well, like 1,000 years ago they were into like some sort of banking, and now
right.
like their kids were into banking, and that turned into this bank, and then this bank turned into that bank, and then now so many years later
Well,
that bank turned into like
yeah.
TD Bank or something like that,
No, it's true. Yeah, well, it's like J.P. Morgan. Like for instance, like I don't think he was Jewish, but like they sliced the bank into like two. Like there's like Chase, and then there's like J.P. Morgan. So like he's got like the the dude has one side that's like an investment firm, and the other side that's like commercial banking.
Yeah.
Loans and stuff like that, and like they probably have a hand in everything. But like all banking to some degree is all connected.
Yeah.
Like other banks buy bonds and whatnot from other banks and whatnot, and it's all kind of, at least I believe, like mostly linked to like the Fed, you know. And the Fed is like, even compared to some of these old money banks, is like somewhat new. It was only made in like the 30s,
Hmm.
And the bank is not, and the Fed is not really a bank, but it's obviously closely tied with all these like CEOs of banks because they're constantly um decreasing or increasing the supply of money. That's all banks like. That's basically the power of banking right there. Is like how much money can I lend out? Is money cheap or is money expensive right now to lend out? You know,
Yeah.
and because of like how the bank system works in this country, like you can do fractional banking. There could be like nothing in the bank vault of J.P. Morgan, basically nothing, maybe 10%,
Yeah.
but they're able to lend out everything for the most part,
Yeah. Yeah.
everything. And like the reason why like we live on such like a like thin, razor thin margins of even all the biggest companies in the world and everything like that, whatever, is because all this giant house of cards of loans, and we saw it in 2008, for example, right? The giant house of cards of loans that we literally live on, right? The entire economy is like coasting on this, is literally so, it's so held up by everyone paying on time or somewhat on time. And if they all default on these loans, like the economy will absolutely crash and bellow out. And you'll see like a 2008 level recession where the banks are trotting to the White House and saying, if you don't bail us out, it's going to get fucking horrible. That's what happened, you know? And then boomers like my dad upstairs will be like, oh, well, you had to. There's no other way. But like we could have learned our
Well, that's why
lesson.
interest is so fucked, dude. In so many ways. Like higher interest like we have now and
Yeah.
whatnot is just like kind of a terrible thing.
Well, I mean, it controls inflation.
Yeah.
I think that right now, like Jerome Powell, he's probably the smartest person. He's probably the number one person I would trust in government, right? Like we've had some horrible Fed chairs in the past, Tom Greenspan and shit like that. Like all these idiots that all they cared about is fucking um, making investors happy and making the stock market go boom boom.
Well, yeah, why do you think?
Well, of course they're getting paid on the back end.
Yeah, and they're
Yeah,
they're they're getting told too, like, hey, you should invest in this,
yeah, of
and
course.
hey, you should pull out of this right
Yeah,
now.
but it's like at least at least at least
Like,
like at least like Jerome Powell is like, yeah, he's like he cut the interest rate 0.20 to 0.25%, which is like nothing, But he's like I think he is a little bit more concerned about it. He's like, hey, like, like we do need high interest rate right now because inflation would seriously be out of control if we didn't. Like to some
can
degree,
you explain how that makes sense? Like,
well, I think like right now, like we are living in like kind of like the post version of kind of like low interest rate because in like 2020 and 2021. right? When the interest rate was 2%, you know, people were buying houses like crazy because they're able to get super cheap loans. Like imagine you could afford a $500,000 house and it's like 2 grand a month.
Wasn't that a good thing?
It is a good thing. It stimulates the economy and stuff like that and
Yeah.
creates like jobs and whatnot. It's like we have the lowest unemployment rate in that you know in that economy.
2021?
2022, 2020, and 2021.
Be the lowest unemployment rate?
Yeah,
Really?
like the low, the most people employed, for instance. Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
I didn't know that. Like right after COVID, pretty much. Like
Like
actually
right
kind
before,
of during COVID.
like during COVID, or like right before COVID and during COVID, like we had like a very robust economy. And like that's what Trump was kind of like floating around. He's like, yeah, look at all this cheap money flying around, like 2019, 2020, like into 20, like before COVID, basically. All right, I would correct myself. I'd probably say 2019, super low interest rate, like he cut it, and then the economy was booming. Jobs, there's shit ton of jobs. Everything was going great, right?
Well, there was a shit ton of jobs because people weren't working
What do you mean?
because of COVID.
Well, I was saying 2019, yeah. 2019, like I was just talking about 2019. This is before COVID. So like
Oh, before COVID. Okay.
yeah, like the economy is like booming, like the everyone is like making money and stuff like that. Like people are building, like people are buying houses and whatnot. Um and the money's cheap, right? Like so people are able to buy houses
Yeah.
and afford the mortgage payment, right? So houses are kind of expensive. They're not crazy like they are kind of right now, but houses are kind of expensive, but people are able to afford them because they're able to put down at 20% or 10% or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. And they could afford their loans.
They can afford their interest rate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is like,
So now, are you like what I was trying to say before is like, are you saying there's like points where a high interest rate loan is better, like for the people in general, for the
well,
economy in
a high
general?
interest rate in general. Yeah, because I think he's trying to fight inflation. Because I think if the interest rate was way lower, I think you would see prices go up because the money would be so cheap. I mean, the supply of money would be increasing if the interest rate went lower, essentially. I mean, because the money would be cheap, and that's when the banks start loaning more money out because it's cheap to loan out money,
Okay.
and that's how they make money. They make money on interest.
Yeah.
You know, but it does make just kind of versus like right now where the money's kind of expensive, so banks aren't loaning out as much like they used to.
Yeah,
Like because they're like, hey,
yeah.
we don't know if like this person will be able to pay it back. We have to default on our loan,
Yeah.
lose money. I mean, so it's good and bad. And I think like right now, I think like Trump is really pushing because he wants cheap money to flow so that like people feel like the economy's good. Like it's a good feeling. Like in 2008, it was so cheap to get a house. Everyone felt like the economy was going to keep going and like keep doing this.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it was like a bubble, and we're kind of living in a bubble right now with AI. I read something today, like from The Economist, where it was like without AI bubbles, like the AI bubble, where it's like basically the government gives money to AI companies. We talked about this. Like day one of the Trump administration was $500 billion to open AI. Day one. Day one. No one talks about
Billion
it.
or million?
Billion.
500 billion?
I have a trill.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, to open AI. A company that doesn't really make anything, doesn't even really have a social media, doesn't really produce any ad revenue, but has an AI chatbot. And they get 500 billion to build like data centers
Well, I wonder if
and pump their stock
they're
price, of
I
course.
wonder if they're linked with Palantir in some sort of way.
They probably are.
Because Palantir is the real threat of AI. Palantir is the one
They
that
probably invested in AI too. They're a
has this
technology company.
giant. Well, yeah, Peter Thiel is like one of Trump's boys
Yeah.
at this point. Uh, but like Palantir is the one who has all the military power, has all the data on people. They're like their goal that they say what they're trying to do is to stop crime before it happens using the data that they collect to like try to scout out in a sense dangerous things that are going to happen through that data that they have, whether it's like social media posts, group chats, and whatnot. You got to think too, it's kind of crazy where it's like, think of how many people have Apple Watches or smart watches, for their Android phone,
Mhm.
right? And it's like, that's Bluetooth synced to your phone, which So like they have your phone's info, they have your info, they have your location all at all times. Excuse me. They have your location. They have access to your chats for the most part. So if you're talking to like a group of people saying we're gonna do this, they want to stop that before it happens. But really, they're using it just to like have data on people in general. If you have a smartwatch,
Mm,
they can literally keep track of like your heart rate, your
yeah,
blood pressure,
yeah, of course.
because it's
Insurance
all
companies? You don't think
connected.
insurance companies want that? Your blood
Yeah, no,
pressure,
no, and they're
your
gonna
constant.
use
I mean,
that.
they could change your insurance rate.
They're gonna use it through insurance. They're gonna use that kind of stuff when it comes to insurance, like life insurance, rates.
Mm,
They're gonna use that for medical bills.
yeah,
Um, but on top of that, like the most important thing is they're just gonna use it to control you. They're gonna use it so that like if a group of people has some sort of influence,
right.
they can shut that down. They can contact YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk for Twitter,
Mm,
and they could be like, this guy or these people to not have a voice. That's what it's like really about. Because like part of it is like
yeah.
the military aspect, which they use. They make their drones, they make their like weaponry,
Mm.
they're like aimbot weapons and whatnot.
Instant headshot.
Yeah, no,
AI.
literally though. And then that's like one part of it, which they say like, oh, we use that to stop the crime before it happens. But
Minority Report.
they really want to stop people from having power without being a part of that.
Right.
They really want to, and like I do wonder, that 500 billion, I wonder how much of that was really just went to the chatbot versus went to what they really want. You know what I mean?
I mean, who knows? Like the problem is that we really don't know. Like it's just obviously like it's just crazy. It's just like free money that goes right to them, taxpayers' money that goes to them to quote unquote compete with China. But like what I was saying was like like AI, like they're building data centers and stuff like that. The reason why everyone's electric bill goes up, gas bills going up, water bills going
Well,
up.
it takes an insane amount. We have an electricity problem here in the United
Well,
States.
what happened was that Trump
That's why,
gave these guys their
yeah, we'll get
money.
into that later.
They gave them their money, and he's basically putting the cart before the horse. Like we didn't upgrade our electrical grid. He didn't put any money into infrastructure. Didn't put any money into that. But he gave them all this money. What they do is they go out to the state and local governments. They lobby them to give them a great deal on utilities,
Yeah.
right? And the utility company, which is again public, um, has no choice but to charge regular people more because the of the usage. Because the AI company already got their deal on utilities.
Yeah.
They got their like flat rate on utilities, and that's how they're going to make money on generating imagery and whatever. And again, it's like it's stupid. It's like why would we sit here? It's like the space race with China or something like that, or with Russia back in the day. Um, it's a race to see who can make more memes. It's not like we were in the 50s or 60s and we're making like Detroit Ford or Detroit Chevy cars or something like that, where it's like, wow, this is amazing. This is a real product you can touch and feel and like buy, and you can, give it to your family, give it to your son or daughter. It's a fucking it's to ask
Well, it's
ChatGPT
funny.
to
It's
yeah.
funny you say that too, where it's like it's literally memes
Yeah.
too. Like I know you say meme. Like
No,
this.
I
It's
said
been
that seriously.
proven that the CIA actively will look at popular memes and then use those popular memes to create memes that have an opinion that they want you to agree with. They will use memes to literally try to get, especially like younger people
Yeah,
or older people that are like online and whatnot, just people that basically don't have their own solid opinion, which is so many people,
of course.
to agree with them through memes, which is crazy. And I want to go back to like the whole electricity issue. You know, it's tough.
Mm,
It's tough because, well, what's the most reliable source to get electricity? It's oil.
yeah, fossil fuels.
And it's
Yeah.
like, how do we get more oil? And we're not doing anything to get more oil.
No.
All these politicians, Governors promise their states, your electricity bill is going to go down. It's going to go down. How? They never explain how. You know what they talk about? They talk about trying to make houses cheaper, which is a good thing. They talk about trying to make taxes lower, which is a good thing. But it's not enough when the electricity bill is this high. And it's going to continue to go up. If we keep advancing in AI, we have more and more and more. Because these AI, like warehouses where they power the main electricity, um, it takes like an entire river to power. You know what I mean? Like rivers to power these places. Where they're using like hydroelectric or whatever.
Mm.
Or it takes rivers to cool down the systems. Like an entire like we're destroying water sources to power these places, whether it's through hydroelectric or it's for cooling reasons. And it's like still not enough. It's still not enough. Our bill is going to keep going up. And it's like they need to do things like on my list here, where I was like, I want to talk about Venezuela a little bit.
Yeah.
We need to start, like, I want to pull out of the Middle East. I think the Middle East only hurts us. Our relations with the Middle East, as of right now, what we do for them only hurts us. And I really think what we need to do is start talking to our neighbors a little bit more, talking to the people that are actually close to us. Like Venezuela has a shit ton of oil,
They're a very well versed nation.
shit ton of like resources in general,
Well,
gold,
do you
other
know
minerals.
who Hugo Chavez was?
Yeah,
The former leader of Venezuela, right?
yeah, yeah,
And like, I'm sure our good friends told you, like we've talked about this and whatnot, or he's talked about it with you and stuff like that. Hugo Chavez, like they were praising this guy for so long for being the guy who's going to like make like socialism to some degree work with his system. You know what I
yeah.
mean? And like because they were a super oil rich country, um, they were gonna trade and whatnot and make and again they were like one of the wealthiest countries in the world
Number four,
when
they competed with the U.S.
yeah with when Hugo Chavez was president for some but what happens with every kind of society like that is that super rich society is that someone like Maduro right now grabs the wheel of power and keeps everything for himself, but they were also built on a single um commodity, which was oil. And
Yeah,
like as soon as that kind of oil stopped giving them the kind of crazy returns it once did, then they kind of faltered, you know? You know what I mean? That's what kind of happened. But as soon as Maduro kind of took control of the country, you know, and refused to let go of power, that was pretty much it, you know?
yeah. I mean, no, like their whole thing is terrible. They
Mm,
went from the fourth richest economy in the world to 70%. I just read this. 70% of the people that live there are considered super poor.
yeah,
And I mean, like, their socialism in general is to blame. The government wasted so much money on welfare.
mm,
Welfare hurts governments. Doesn't really help. Like, there's not a government out there right now that has welfare where the welfare benefits everybody. All it
okay,
does is hurt everybody except the people that are using the welfare. Because
right.
it's basically taking taxpayers' money, the government's money in general, and like just giving it to people. And that was a big issue. They're not efficient when it comes to extracting their oil. And they have a lot of gold too. They're not
Yeah,
efficient at mining their gold.
right,
So the rates that they do it at are not enough to support their economy.
right.
And there's a million reasons, why socialism can really not work. Like if you look at it historically, socialism has only really worked in like small places, real small
Well, I
places.
mean, I think the place for socialism, for the most part, like we'll see it historically, um, because America, like for instance, like the two top dogs in the world right now are America and China, right? And they are both have some socialism to some degree,
Yeah,
all right, with capitalism. You know what I mean?
yeah,
When you're an old farter in America, you get Social Security and you get Medicare. So you get your care taken care of you for some degree, and then you get a little paycheck. And that's like some socialism to some degree. We don't want like because somewhere down the line in the 30s during the Great Depression, we were like, yeah, it's not good to see a bunch of old dudes working on a farm because they lost everything.
Yeah.
The government should probably take care of a guy who's like 55, 60, 65, 70, and just let him just chill. Just let him chill. Let him just like give him a little bit of money and just let him relax.
Yeah.
Right? That would if you were like a true like libertarian, you'd be like, yeah, get rid of so but no one really is a true libertarian.
But that though, my counter argument to that though is like, well, for these old people, how do we help them? We have Social Security and we give them discounts. And it's like,
Yeah.
I personally think Social Security is kind of stupid, personally.
Well, I mean, we
You
were
could
seeing
you
it.
could you could take the amount of money from your check. See, Social Security is forced, which is interesting.
Yeah.
You could take the amount of money that goes to Social Security every week from your paycheck, every month, every 2 weeks, whatever you get paid, and
Invest it.
not even just invest it, just put it in a bank account. No interest. It's not like a high yield bank savings account or anything, just a regular savings account. And you will end up with more money than going through Social Security. So it's like, you bring up the point of like, well, these old people shouldn't work, which I agree with.
Mm,
But what do we give them? We give them Social Security and
yeah.
we give them discounts. The
Right.
discounts, I think, are good. I personally think if you're over, let's say, 70, your property taxes, if you own a place, should get frozen or something like that for your home, not your business maybe, but for your home.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Stuff like that. But when you take something like Social Security, it's just corrupt. You're taking these people's money, being like, yeah, you're gonna get it back, but you're taking such a big percentage of that money for yourself, for the government. And you
Yeah.
know that the government's not using the money properly. You know that there's like a million things, or like our government at least, the United States
I
government.
don't know any government that uses money responsibly.
Yeah. And it's like it's corrupt.
Maybe China.
Like we need to start helping people who actually need help by getting them jobs, creating jobs. We need to create more jobs.
Yeah, but that's the government. That's the government. Like for instance, like we were just talking about the 30s. The crazy thing that happened in the 30s when Roosevelt was president was that he hired 15 million Americans. That never happened in history before in American history. But the government was hiring that many people to just do shit.
Yeah.
All right, like there was a thing called the CCC, where it was like government works projects. There's even the old bleachers at one of the high schools around here was built by the CCC. You know,
Yeah.
and it's just a government like it's no longer there, but it was just a government works project where the government was commissioning, you know, parks in New York City, parks in Chicago and stuff like that, and they were just getting dudes, obviously mostly men, right? This is a different time,
Yeah.
but mostly dudes, and they were just building stuff on the government's dime. And that never happened before. And that would be like back in the day and stuff like that, if you were like a really rich, say if you were John D. Rockefeller or something like that, or JP Morgan and stuff, you'd be like, this is socialism. The government's doing what? That should be a private industry's job. Right. Could be socialism to consider like the railroad barons of like the early 20th century being like, yeah, like we're making all the railroads, we're taking all the railroads from you and we're
Well, I
making them public.
when you said that, I was gonna say like when I say we should be creating more jobs, I didn't mean like I don't think the government should have more government positions. I
Yeah.
just think maybe laws could be made so that more jobs are needed. I also
I
think
don't know how you could
I
enforce
also
that
think
though.
I also think well like look at states like New Jersey where gas it's illegal to pump your own gas in New Jersey. That
Right.
creates jobs.
Right.
I'm sure there's like a million different things that you could do like that.
I've always said that where I was like, yeah, like, we should do that everywhere just because
Uh,
any crackhead could do that for the most
yeah,
part.
anybody could do it.
Yeah.
We need jobs that like anybody could do, and then we also need to take back jobs that not everyone could do. The H-1B visas, the whole HB visas in general. I know like there's H1B, H2B is not a thing anymore, but there's like the one after that that was recreated.
Yeah,
We need to get rid of this.
agreed.
It hurts the people who actually are a part of our economy that have been apart for generations. It hurts them.
We're not
You
hiring
know,
Americans.
the immigration, and on top of that, we have 25 million illegal immigrants here,
Right,
estimated. Could be
right.
more, could be less. Estimated 25 million. That takes a lot of jobs away. And you know, when people like when Biden was president, he had basically an open border policy. That's bad. That's
Yeah,
real bad.
20 million
Now, I don't really
illegal
like how
immigrants showed up.
Trump is like, forcing ice down these people's throats, but I like how
I agree.
Obama did it, where he like
Well, I mean,
slyly, not slyly, because that's kind of like a scummy term, but
mm,
just like he like actually had the paperwork done, figured out who was illegal,
right,
and told these people, you gotta leave,
right,
you gotta do this the legal way.
right.
Um, like there's layers to this. There's layers to the issues of the fact that there's too many illegals,
Yeah,
and then there's too many legal immigrants too.
right,
And the issue is that our economy is so bad that people aren't having kids. People are not having kids. The average American uh is not having as many kids as so many other places.
mm,
And that is a big issue. And that encourages immigration, but immigration removes what America actually is. That's the real issue. If we have 100,000 Muslims come to one state and they're reproducing very, very like rapidly,
right. Well, I
now
think,
now we're
yeah.
just gonna have a Muslim state, and that's not American.
I mean, there's obviously already that's already here in America. That's already happened, like to some degree.
Yeah, look at like Dearborn, Michigan.
Yeah,
Is
I was gonna
like
say that's already happened. Like,
yeah.
there's already pockets of that in America, no matter what. So, you know, I don't
Well,
want
that's
to.
the issue.
I
It's
don't.
gonna
Yeah.
spread more. It's gonna spread more than these few places
Mm,
that have that. It's gonna spread more unless we fix the economy. The average person that has a child right now
right.
is 30 years old.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure, I might be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure there's more 35-year-olds right now that are having kids than 25-year-olds.
I would definitely say
This
that.
is a bad thing because that means that there's low rates when it comes to reproducing
Well,
American
let me just
citizens.
pause you right there, because I
Yeah.
think I think what happened in America for the most part, and this is like not even the time that we're living in right now, right? This could be traced back to 10 years ago, even 20 years ago, where young people like ourselves, like they feel a
Young people.
young people. Well, I'm just saying young
All right,
people.
Unc.
All right, no, yeah, shut the fuck up. They're feeling like an extended adolescence because like nothing is very serious right now. You know what I mean? No young person can buy a home. Barely any young people can start a business, right? A successful business.
Yeah.
And everything else that's like could a young that a young person could excel at, whether it's education or being a doctor, lawyer, whatever you want to call it, is like very closed off to them because like
It's the
boomer.
economy. I'm telling you, it's the
Yeah.
economy.
Well, of course, everything goes back to the
Think
economy.
think
If you're
about
making a
this.
lot of money, if you're
Yeah.
making a lot of money, you're gonna have a kid because you're making a lot of money. You maybe you're with the girl you love and stuff like that, and like you can afford it
You say
essentially.
you think you love.
Whatever.
No, no,
Like, you know what I
but
mean?
no, but
Like,
yeah, you
yeah,
could afford it. You could
yeah,
afford it.
right. You
Yeah.
can afford it, and like you're like, all right, word. I would love to do this, but like again, we live in an extended adolescence where like nothing is taken seriously. Our politics aren't serious. The economy isn't serious. All right. Like I said, I was getting to the data center thing where besides the ChatGPT bubble, the ChatGPT bubble stock rise, right? The stock, the overall SP has gone up because of AI companies, and obviously the other data center crap. Um, the GDP of America would have for the first half of 2025 would have been 0.1 output, right? That's like, what is that? One fucking iPhone being made?
Yeah.
Normal level, if not below average level of Amazon orders.
Yeah.
Crap. Microsoft Xbox. Yep, the subscription's $10 more now, guys. You
Well,
know, dumb shit.
let me
So
say
like,
this
if
too.
you're
Let
well,
me
hold
say,
on. Let me just
yeah,
finish.
okay, okay,
If you are experiencing that as a 25-year-old, right,
yeah,
and like your job sucks, you have a college degree where you can't get a job, right? Like, say if you're a journalist major and like you're running around, all you're doing is setting up tables for like $12 an hour, and you live with your parents, and like your only enjoyment in life is like jumping on Xbox and like playing a game with your boys. Well, what business do you have having a kid?
yeah.
It's the truth.
No, I
Like,
was gonna that actually. I'm glad I let you finish because that goes into what I was about to say of how you know me. You know I don't have a bachelor's degree. I
mm,
have an associate's, useless. I don't have a bachelor's degree. I know a lot of friends, you know the people I know that have bachelor's degree, that even have master's degrees,
yeah,
that don't make enough money to buy a home, to buy property. And like the argument of like, oh, well, they don't invest properly and whatnot is stupid because throughout all of American history,
yeah,
you didn't have to invest in like the stock market or a business or anything like that
right.
to own a home. You just had to get a job
Yeah,
and work that
you just
job
had
and
to be
work
an honest
consistently. Yeah,
person.
you had to be an honest working person, work consistently,
Yeah,
do decent work so you don't get fired. And now you could save up to get a home by the time you're like 25, 26, 27.
yeah,
And
and you're
that's like really where it comes into play, where it's like our economy is so bad. I could spend $200,000 to get a bachelor's degree and then another $50,000 to get a master's degree, and I still can't land myself a job immediately to where I could save up to own a home in a few years. I have to stick with that job for like 10 years, maybe not 10, but like 6, 7 years,
grinding,
work my
saving.
way up, grinding, save. And now by the time I'm like 33, 34, maybe I have enough to put a down payment on some shit little home that could hold like two
What do
people.
you think? What do you think the average in America, the average first time home buyer age is now?
Right now,
Yeah, what do you think the average first time home buyer
first time home buyer, that's
age?
rough. What, like 35? That's kind of my guess. Higher, really.
39,
First time.
39 years old.
39.
What is the average age of home buyers in America?
See, that's the
Not even
issue.
first time home buyer. What's the average age of a house
Well,
buyer?
I know
A
that's
property owner, like
we
say
did talk about that. That's boomers. Boomers are buying all
55.
the
55 and
houses.
older.
Yeah. Is 55 a boomer or X?
Yeah, it's boomer, I would say. Like you're born in 1965 or
Yeah.
1970 maybe.
Yeah.
So maybe not, but
But yeah, yeah. Yeah, the dude. If you look at the graphs for
that's
like
that's
who's
that's
buying
that's
houses,
unbelievable to me. That's unbelievable. It's like
yeah,
that's
no, it's terrible.
but and again, that goes back
But
to our
that
conversation about like what was going on in 2019 where like yeah, the house prices were kind of getting crazy, but the money was cheap, right? So guys were scooping up houses and whatnot on the cheap. But also boomers were selling their houses for crazy money because the mortgage payment was going to be so cheap, right? And the problem with that now is that the housing market is probably one of the slowest moving markets out of all of them, right? Because people stay in their house a very long time.
yeah,
You know, you stay in your house for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years, 30, your whole life.
yeah,
All right. And then when you finally get a realtor, and realtors, like for the most part, like I'm a realtor, to be fully transparent, like I have a real estate license, but realtors, they're not like people that are like the most economic people. They're like they want to make they basically by law have to do what you say. I want to list my house for $1 million. Well, sir, Mr. Smith or Mr. Johnson or Mr. Baloney, like, that house, your house is only worth 400 grand. Well, my fucking neighbor behind me, he got 1 million 2 years ago. Now I want 1 million.
yeah,
Okay, like, yeah, it's like, what are you supposed to tell that person? Like, by law, they're like, all right, and then sometimes they get it, sometimes they don't, but it's basically super discouraging to a first time home buyer because you're like, holy crap, like all I can buy is a fucking shit shack for 500 grand. And then what? I'm stuck with it for the rest of my life because like I
yeah,
can't get
yeah,
out of this payment. And I'm probably not going to, and who knows what's going to happen in the economy. I might not be able to list that same house
yeah,
for a profit, even the same price. Who knows?
yeah.
So it's like super discouraging for like young people and like they're working jobs. Like everyone I know, like they're making good money and
Now
whatnot. And
let me
like,
take that back to
yeah,
having kids and
yeah,
immigration, where it's
yeah,
like that's the situation of the average U.S. resident in general, young or old.
right,
How do you have kids? How do you reproduce at a high enough rate to where we don't necessarily need immigration?
right.
See, we need immigration right now because these immigrants will pop out babies. And if they become part of the US, that's good, but it's not what the US is now, and it's going to change things rapidly, which is bad.
Yeah,
If they were willing to assimilate to what we are and then have their kids and their kids are what we are, that's a good thing, but that's not the case. The case is these immigrants come over and we have to assimilate to them. And that's a
mhm,
big issue because at that point, if we continue on this slow but steady drop of Americans having American kids living the American way and immigrants coming in having immigrant children living their way
mhm.
coming up, we're just going to become a different country. It's not looking good. It's not looking good for the economy. It's not looking good for society in general because America is like the free place. This is the place. See, like, it's not about a Muslim coming over and like living by Sharia law.
No,
It's about a Muslim coming over and privately being able to be a Muslim and getting a job and not being pushed away because they're Muslim.
I agree with
That's what
that.
it's really about.
I agree.
But you have all these immigrants come.
I'm gonna stop you right there. I just have to run to the restroom real quick.
I do as well, but yeah, you go first. You
All
go
right, you
first.
keep you keep
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
to all of our non peeps,
yeah.
all of our 6 views.
Do we have 6 views?
We have 6 views. Well, I put the link into our group chat on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, "Look," and then our friend was like, "Oh, this is great." So I can. Hold on 1 second.
So it's just it's a big issue because we need we need people to be American. We need America to be American in general. If people from all over the world are coming here and not being American, then we're just a different country. And it's hard because our economy is so bad for the actual Americans trying to make a living that they can't have kids, and now our reproductive rates go way down. And then we crumble. That's pretty much how it works. You know, we crumble under the fact that what we are is becoming non existent. Obviously, I'm talking about the future. Right now, it's okay, it's doing all right. But, you know, we want to continue to be a powerhouse. We want to be strong. We want to be one of the great countries. You know, I don't want to become like Venezuela is, where we're one of the richest countries economically in the world, and now we're not because these other countries come in, these other people come in, and it's just a complete shit show. It's a mess. It ruins the economy. Our people become poor, whether they're American or immigrants or whatnot. That's not what I want. I don't want it to become.
I better sneak in here. Oh yeah, keep going.
I don't want it to become Marxist. I don't want it to become, you know, where the government has complete control either. I just want it to be what it's been for so long. I want it to be the American people get American jobs in America. We don't have H-1B visas where we have these companies not hiring Americans so they could have cheap labor. We need these companies, we need people to be working good, solid jobs, and we need these people to get these jobs without being in hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt. We need to be able to get these jobs without having so much competition from every other, excuse me, country in the world, so that way we can actually have kids and protect our rights. We can protect what we truly believe in. Because if we don't, we're just going to become a different country. And there's reasons why they say that America is the greatest country. There's reasons why we are the land of the free. There's reasons why illegal immigration is so bad because of that. Because they come in and they don't assimilate, and now it just continues to grow that way. And that's a bad thing. That's a really bad thing. All right, I'm gonna take my piss now.
All right, I think I'm going to talk about something else.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to talk about, I don't know what I want to talk about, honestly. I'm thinking I want to talk about box office returns for movies. That's what I think I want to talk about. Um, so this really interests me for the most part. Something about, and I think I want Jason to clip this out, to be honest, because like really has not much to do with you know, like any political stuff or anything like that we were talking about. But I just want to talk about kind of like how how I just want to go over basically what made money in movies this week and what kind of didn't. Um, you know, like this week, the top of the box office for this weekend um for 10 to 10 12 was Tron Ares. All right. So Tron Ares made a total this weekend, opening weekend of, excuse me, $33 million, right? On a $180 million budget. So it's uh it's a giant flop. It's another Disney era flop for this era of like movie making and whatnot. Like it's the first one, the last remake they made in 2011 did not make that much money. Um, and this one is not gonna looking like it's not gonna make too much money on a $180 million budget. There's just like no way you can make money on a $300 million or $33 million opening weekend. I mean, I don't know how I don't know how movies are gonna basically continue with this kind of stuff. And I like basically want to keep going down the list here. The only movie, at least in the last weekend, I saw like or heard about making any bread was the Conjuring movie, which I saw. The Conjuring still is at number 5. So even for this weekend, it made 172 million at the box office with a $55 million budget. So horror movies are still very, very profitable. I think you're going to see. They say this is the quote unquote last Conjuring movie, but honest to God, I don't really see that considering it actually made about $100 million in profits for Warner Brothers. But yeah, I mean, the number one movie at the box office this past weekend is still a flop, no matter what. And the weekend previously was the big news for that weekend for October 3rd to the 5th was basically the Smashing Machine, which is number 3 at the box office, but opened pretty much horribly. Dwayne Johnson's worst um, box office ever with a $6 million opening weekend. I mean, for Dwayne Johnson, he was like a megastar. That sucks. That literally sucks. And I even know, like, the one that beat them out for number 2 was One Battle After Another, the PTA movie, Paul Thomas Anderson movie. And again, like, we'll look up how much this fucking thing made. This budget was $175 million. It made 42 million. Another flop. I mean, you know, it's like getting to the point where every single weekend, and I think I'm gonna talk about this every week when we talk, because I think this is just one thing I'm gonna hope. I was just saying before, I hope you just clip this out for me.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know how long like this can last. Every single movie is a flop, besides like one every single weekend. Like the number one movies that from the 2 weekends ago, is the Taylor Swift movie.
Mm.
It's a it's a release party movie. And if you were at the movies that weekend like I was, from about 10 a.m. to 11 p.m., there's a showing every hour, every single hour. And like I don't know how much this. I mean, this movie made 34 million. It probably didn't make that. It 50 million worldwide. But
Well,
like,
there's a multitude of reasons as to why this
of
happens,
course, we all know why.
and you know, there's it's hard to combat those reasons because they make sense. Well, one is that the message that so many of these movies try to push now are things that people aren't interested in. You know, we know who pushes those messages. And then two, there's just other entertainment now that there didn't used to be. And there's also, there's small factors too that I feel like people probably don't even think about. Like people drink way less than they do now. It's 49 of the 50 states alcohol sales have went down. And it's like, like people probably used to get drunk, have a few drinks, go watch a movie, and now it's like not a thing. So there's probably like a million little reasons like that
Well,
too that also factor in.
I don't know. I don't know if like drinking has anything to do with anything. To be honest with you, because when I think about
Well, I'm saying it's a possible micro factor.
like when I think about like movie sales and stuff like that, like you know, like every highest grossing movie for the most part has been from like this the last 10 or 20 years. This part, right? You
Every
know,
what?
every highest grossing movie has been from the last 10 to 20 years. Okay. So I don't know if I don't think that like America is like, oh yeah, and a lot of them have been in the last 5 years. Believe it or not.
Okay.
But like most movies, or at least a good chunk of movies from like the 80s, 90s, so they were able to eke out a profit so the studio could keep going, right? But like what I worry about, and every time, like I look at Box Office Mojo, like every time I go see a movie, the most part, because I'm just like, I don't know, that's where my brain goes. Where I'm like, did this make any money? Like this was a decent movie. Did this make any money? And like I saw The Conjuring, I was like happy. I was like, oh, a cheap horror movie. And
Yeah.
again, $55 million is not cheap for a horror movie. All
Yeah.
right, it's like recurring cast members and stuff like that, but it made a lot of money because it's a horror movie in October and it's eking out a profit. Good for them. All right.
Yeah.
But like majority of movies I see, I'm like, shit didn't make anything. It didn't make anything. Didn't make any money. All right. Unless it was like a Marvel movie, but like even then, like some of these Marvel movies, they don't make money anymore. I think like at Black Widow where like the Thunderbolts made money. No, it didn't. Right?
Yeah.
It's just for something for Disney to put on a shelf for them for you to pay for the streaming service.
Yeah.
Right? And luckily for these streaming services, they're keeping like Warner Brothers and Disney like afloat. That's profit that's money every single month.
Well, maybe that's the thing. Maybe, the box office sales are bad, but in the long run, they know that the streaming services will catch up and make them their
Yeah, they'll
money.
make the money back. Yeah, that's what they're kind of factoring in, but it's like, I don't know. Like I said, I looked at Tron, it's like that's a deep hole to dig yourself out of for Disney. You make only for Tron, you only made um 33 million out of a $180 million budget, which is probably more likely $250 million with the advertisements
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
And that's the hole you're digging at yourself out of. That's a flop. It's a giant flop. Right? You're paying Jared Leto and fucking Jeff Bridges and all these fucking people to make a movie and an army of visual effects people,
Yeah.
and it flops. It's only like a worse quality of filmmaking that's going to come out of that, right? Some of the best movies we got was because like not for nothing, like I think about like I think about like The Dark Knight or something like that, or like like the Avengers or something like that. Like those are like good movies and whatnot, but like they were making like that made basically emboldened the studio to make like better movies because they're getting more money. So it's like you got to get them back somehow, like with even more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You make $2 billion on a movie, you're like, I got to get them back better. You got to come back even harder.
But you got to think too, these companies probably make so much money off of the streaming services, off of their
Of
like
course,
classics and whatnot, that like maybe they don't even care, you know?
they probably don't even care. You're probably right.
And like, I don't know, it'll probably keep them alive, you know? Like movies in some ways is a dying industry, in other ways is not.
I think people are
you
always
know?
going to look for movies to watch because like I think naturally human beings are storytellers, and
Mhm.
that's kind of gay to say, but it's the truth. Like, yeah, is it cool to like sit there and like watch like brain rot all day? Yeah, I guess so. But like at the end of the night, I still want to like watch a story unfold because like it makes me feel good, like in my brain.
Yeah.
Like like watching people like fart and scream at Walmart for fucking 8 hours straight doesn't make me really feel like satisfied. It's like I've said this a million times here where I'm like it's like if you came home from work and like for dinner you had a big bag of chips and you're like, oh, I feel like shit and I'm still kind of hungry. Versus like if you had like a great nice steak dinner that you were or even better a chef made for you and you're like, wow, this is amazing. I feel
Yeah.
like perfect. And a
Yeah.
little bit of steak, a little bit of wine, a little bit of salad, a little bit of potatoes, and I'm good. Like that's what a great movie is like basically for your brain for entertainment. You're feeding it and you're like, I'm good. Now I don't need to eat anymore. Now I don't need to just sit there and keep watching like an asshole.
Yeah.
I can just go home and I can be good. I saw the ebbs and flows of a good story and now I'm satisfied. Like versus like if I sit there even for like an hour and like look at Instagram, I'm like, I would like to watch something that like I don't know has like some production value in it. Because how many times do you watch like some like
Yeah,
gooner shit? Like I don't know.
I mean, I don't know if everyone feels that way, but I like when it comes to I'm watching Instagram for an hour now, I feel like shit. But I do think that there's like truth to that, where it's like,
Well, I mean, you could even say with video games and stuff like that.
well,
Like
that's what I was
I was
gonna
gonna say,
say.
like you could sit there and like in between matches, like look at your phone and stuff like that. But like you want the more cinematic produced experience because you're like, yeah, like if I'm playing Counter Strike or if I'm playing COD or if I'm playing Mortal Kombat or something like that, this is better because like I'm more invested in it and I'm getting better at it. Like say a video game or something like that, or if like
Yeah.
it's a movie or TV show, I'm
Well,
like,
short form content is also wired to almost like keep you awake.
because
Keeps
you're
you keeps
because
you like yeah, like watching
yeah,
invested
right,
in that every single time, every single clip that you're watching
right.
keeps you invested and that makes people stay up later and stuff like that. Like I feel like people that are like brain rotted every day, every single night before they go to bed and whatnot, like you were saying, where it's like they feel like shit. You feel like shit after you've been on Instagram for like an hour or two.
Right.
Um, like those people, I feel like don't really like have anything to them. Like I feel like you'll never find like a rich guy that's just like doom scrolling some social media
Probably
every
not.
single day, every night. Because like I mean the exact it makes you feel like shit. It's unproductive, but it's like you find a guy that watches a movie or plays like the story of a video game every night or watches like a couple episodes of a show every night and then they're like,
Yeah.
"All right, I'm tired, I'm gonna go to bed." Wake up and now they're not yearning for the feeling of doom scrolling.
Right. I can see
Like
that.
so it makes complete sense.
Yeah. No, I mean 100%.
That's why, you know, movies will never die.
No, no. I don't worry about movies.
The movie industry is kind of weird right now because like you were saying, like, like Tron, like $130 million or $180 million budget,
Yeah.
and then they only sell 30 million
Yeah.
in box sales. Uh, that's not good for them, obviously, but I'm sure that company has like 100 other movies that
Yeah,
still make
It's
them money to
Disney.
this day.
It's Disney. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, it's Disney. Like they like Disney profits. Whether it's new
They
or old movies,
right.
they profit. They make money. So if they make a movie that flops, they're just gonna make another
I mean,
movie.
they're the biggest studio on earth.
Yeah.
They have like multifaceted like mechanisms to make the money. All the parks, um merchandise, Disney adults, all sorts of stupid crap to keep them
Disney
floating,
adults.
right? Like other companies, like what happened to MGM and what happened to kind of like Paramount and stuff like that. Like they're still like Paramount's still around as an independent company to some degree, but like they're so looped in with like Amazon. Same with MGM. MGM's just owned by Amazon. Like they just become kind of like a back burner. Like yeah, like Yeah, if we wanted to, we could like make another Scarface or Godfather or something like that. Like, but we don't have to. Like, we're just gonna just put it on the back burner, and like, if someone ever wants to use it, we can just tell them no or yes, and just sell it. And not like they're
Yeah.
not Amazon's not really worried about making movies. They're worried about like how can we dominate the entire marketplace of like everything that we do. Like, movies is part of it.
Yeah, they
Of
basically want to just be the biggest like legal monopoly that they can be.
course, yeah, they want to be able to sell everything on Earth, which they mostly do.
Yeah.
You know, and how do I figure out how to put devices in people's houses that listens to them so I can sell it to market researchers?
Yeah. You know what's beautiful about that whole thing? How can I sell everybody everything? You can't buy so much vintage stuff on Amazon.
No, of course
So
not.
much easier to go to like eBay or just go to like a local app that you have where it's like around the town that you live. It's like buy that. I
Yeah,
love that that's still a thing.
of
I
course.
love that I can.
If you need plastic junk, Amazon's the way to go.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
Timu or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, if I need a plastic piece of junk for the side of my phone. Amazon will have that to you the day that you want it. The
Yeah.
day that you want it. Like, I could be at work at 9, it will be at my house at 5
Yeah.
for me to like play with. Yay, I got my junk. Or I need batteries. Like,
Yeah.
convenience factor is really good with Amazon. But like, yeah, where you want like good stuff, like you're not gonna buy like you know, like even the shit that I used to sell on eBay, like that kind of crap, like toys or whatever, like some kind of weird toy that some guy wants, like you're not gonna be able to sell that on there. People do or try to, but like, like you're just not gonna be able to do it. But like, yeah, but that they're good for super packaged goods because it's like they don't really care, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just for people to buy, you know. But that's the world we live in. It's like literally like the economy is. You know what the economy is driven by? A little Indonesian or Chinese boy or whatever Chinese, some kind of like child
A
out,
slave.
a slave out in the middle of nowhere making your Chinese crap, making your plastic crap, and some woman in Idaho or Ohio buying it frantically because it's Prime Day. That's the
Yeah.
economy. I mean, if that's the economy. I mean, like, I don't know what else to tell people. Like, like, and the other half of the economy is a bubble, a fake stockholder bubble, because like Sora 2 is amazing. Oh, Sora 2 so realistic. Oh, yeah, it's realistic, and it's also draining every resources away from normal people. And eventually, like, these investors are gonna like want to. They're gonna want to see something like, okay, like, how are you monetizing this? And I don't even know what people are gonna. What are they gonna tell them? Like, I don't know. We have a subscription service, and it's gonna pop.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
okay, okay, great.
I make AI OnlyFans videos, and I have an AI OnlyFans girl, and people buy my subscriptions.
Well, that would be the user that they're hoping to get for like the $50 a month Sora 2
Oh, how
subscription.
do you
Yeah, how do you
monetize?
monetize it for OpenAI for the investors? And the investors are gonna be like, okay, you fucking idiot. Like, Microsoft does a monthly subscription for Microsoft Word.
Yeah.
Like, people don't need to be making AI every single day of their life, you know. So like, they really didn't.
Yeah, no, there's no need for it. There's
There's no
really
need
no
for
need
it.
for it.
And
Like ChatGPT is different because they'll answer questions, they'll help you.
yeah, but it's a glorified search engine for the most part.
But I was gonna say that, yeah, it's kind of just, it's like there's no need necessarily. And like it also is wrong a lot. There's a
Yeah,
lot of things, like if you go on Google, something might be wrong in the searches that you find, but that's kind of on you because you're choosing what to click on.
right,
But if you ask AI a question or opinion, and they are wrong on that. Maybe not the opinion part because that's opinionated, but
mm,
if you ask AI a question and it's wrong, it's like there's no other route you could go.
right,
If you're using that AI as your search engine, you know, you need it to just be correct all the time, which it's not.
right.
So yeah, monetizing it is kind of weird. Like I fear AI more for like database and military.
Well, yeah, because I
Like
wouldn't want I wouldn't
I'm
want an
not
AI in charge of like, I think people will obviously make this comparison like many many times over, but I don't want AI in charge of like nuclear weapons or like weapon systems. Like,
yeah.
I think that'd be pretty bad. You know, um, I mean, like that wouldn't be good for anybody because then what? Like an excuse could be like, oh, like we launched some like covert attack or something like that or like whatever, and like they find out and they're like, ah, AI did. It's not our fault. We're gonna investigate. Blah blah blah. It could be like a total false flag all over the place all the time for that reason. And also like you know it could legitimately destroy us. Like I don't know. Like I think maybe this is like movie brain talking where it's like all, oh I'm worried about Skynet, but it's like at the same time it's like how do we know what this thing is capable of? Like and it's almost like Icarus flying too close to the sun, where it's like, how far do we need to go with technology? Like, we have so much convenience in our world. You can fucking lay in bed, smoke weed, and order McDonald's without fucking lifting, like getting out of bed at all. And the McDonald's just shows up to your door, and all you gotta do is get up and go get it. And like that person gets paid basically shit. You're getting basically shit. You're putting it on a card or using it to serve. You're using another technology company to pay off your Big Mac month to month.
Yeah.
It's like we've gone way too far mentally. Like, and I'm not trying to be like a boomer hater. Like I like technology, but it's like at some point you're kind of like, okay, like what? When is enough enough? We're gonna just have fake AI videos all over the place of like of every single of like how many more fake videos of Hitler do we need like floating around there? Like you know what I mean? And like is it worth it? And I think like that's what like people are gonna be asking themselves, like and that's gonna be like the kind of like the conversation where it's gonna be like, is it worth it? And it's gonna be a conversation like normal people are not gonna even be a part of. Like we said, like first day of Trump administration part two, uh gives money to these people half $1 trillion. It's going to be people that are going to have that kind of level of money and influence are going to go to politicians and say, "Nah, we don't need regulation. We're just AI. We don't need regulation." And like some boomer idiot who's 60, 70, 80 years old is going to be like, "I don't know, even care. I don't even
Yeah.
care. Just give me the bread that you promised me."
Yeah.
And like that's my biggest fear is like we're not going to even have a part
Well,
in
it's
this
human nature.
conversation.
That's why Thomas Paine, as much as I dislike libertarianism, Thomas Paine is
Well,
super
Thomas
right.
Paine is like it's hard to compare to some because the dude was alive in what, 1776, giving
Yeah,
out a pamphlet.
but I'm saying where it's like, the like human nature, he explains how, human nature, like the government is a necessary evil because human nature will always take advantage of what it can to benefit itself. So that basically means that politicians are always going to, or powerful people are always going to take advantage of what they can, even if it means hurting a big majority of people, because it's human nature. You want what's best for yourself. You're going to do what is best for yourself. And that's kind of just like the issue where it's like, how do we how do we take that knowledge and control the people of power so that they're not hurting everyone else to have advantages for themselves.
I think that's almost impossible.
Which yeah, is so it's like, that's why like it's so ridiculous how cuz I agree with you. I think that's probably impossible.
Because it's like if you have power, like you're always like going to probably try to abuse it to some degree. And the only way you could possibly get people to notice it all the time is that if you are constantly trying to police honesty, right? You know that they're probably going to steal a little bit. You know they're probably going to use insider information a little bit to make themselves rich. But if, as long as you are honest, I think about really big issues that people care about. And I think that we're seeing that right now with I think there's a legitimate split between both parties right now on within their own parties. Like there's a split in the Democratic Party, like where there's people that are established like boomer Democrats, and there's people that are younger, like our age, that are young Democrats. We're like, yeah, like we really care about healthcare and Palestine and whatever. And I think the same exact thing is happening on the Republican side, where it's like there's boomer Republicans who think no matter what Trump does, like he's the greatest. And then there's people like maybe me and you, like we probably consider ourselves more conservative, where we see Trump and we see him like helping out his friends and his sons, everything like that. We're like kind of like, all right, like this is not exactly what we signed up for.
Yeah.
I think that's legitimately happening. Where we're trying to get to a point where the politicians are just somewhat more. They're not going to be all the way. They're not going to be all the way honest. That's just kind of like a farce. But
Yeah, I
they
don't
should be
expect
probably,
perfection.
yeah, they should probably be mostly honest about like certain issues. Like Donald Trump should not be making $10 billion the first 7 months he's in office. His family,
Yeah.
because his sons are running around the Middle East like back and forth, like to Qatar and to the Saudis and everything like that, and they're cutting deals. And again, like we go back to the Israel Palestine, and the only way we get a peace deal now is because Trump's money's getting bombed. His son's money is getting bombed.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, that's it, everyone. Affected me for about 2 seconds. Time to end it.
Yeah.
That's what happened. And it's like, we like Republican, like, I'm not going to sit there and be like, wow, this is great. Like, there's no real peace that actually happened. Like, what? We're gonna make Hamas make peace. There's a bunch of rubble all over the place. A bunch of normal people got killed. And then the plan is to let, you know, Trump and Tony Blair, probably like the biggest idiot of like the Bush era from Britain, be like, yeah, we are going to be the chairman of Gaza, everyone, and we're going to run it for you. And then what? Like, what could possibly go wrong? Probably another terrorist attack, right? That's
Yeah.
probably what's going to happen. And then there'll
We
be
don't
a
even we don't even know if it's gonna end right now.
fuck no,
Yeah.
right? Why would you? If you're
Because
is
these
it,
people know that if it continues, they make money off of it. They could profit somehow off of it.
right,
And if it stops, then the money stops. The funding stops.
right,
So it's like, do they like you were saying, like Trump wants it to stop solely because his money was attacked, his people's money
yeah,
was attacked.
yeah,
But like obviously people like Netanyahu, who's only in power because of this, who only gets money because of this.
yeah. And now they're talking
Like
about pardoning him.
yeah,
Like the reason why he like, 'cause he was on war criminal charges as prime minister. There was no election because there was a war. All right, and he kept it going and gave himself emergency powers. He could do whatever he wants, you know. And so now they just pardon him, and then like we just go on with our merry way and whatnot. And again, the
yeah,
IDF
yeah.
doesn't
Where's the
leave.
true peace? Like,
There's no true peace.
so there was this terrible war, and now it's coming to an end, and nothing happens.
It like I
Like,
watched.
imagine
Yeah,
I kill someone you love, or I just kill someone in general, and then I don't go to jail, and it's like, oh well, I won't kill anyone else.
mm,
Is that peaceful? No, that's not peaceful. That's just like violence happened, and then the violence stopped, and that's the end of it. There's no peace. That's not peaceful. It's kind of ridiculous, because that's like basically what they're doing.
I agree.
They're basically like, yeah, we just destroyed a place, most of it, killed like 2 million. We killed over a third of their people. But now we're gonna stop.
It's
It's
over,
like, oh,
guys.
okay. And like the people that are
But
going
then, but
through
then,
it
but
are
then the
just so
boomers.
thankful that
Then
it
imagine the
stopped.
boomers, like our fathers, are like, yeah, but it's a monumental moment, and everyone in the Middle East loves Trump. That's like again what I have to sit there and listen to and be like, yeah, I guess it's a triumph. I guess
Yeah,
like wow, what a great triumph. Like they're probably not going to leave the region. The IDF soldiers, the peace will probably not hold. Like the ceasefire won't hold. And then these people just got like their whole like what even was accomplished the entire
see, when I
time?
say this too,
It's not like Hamas was like destroyed or like the terrorist group was actually like found or anyone got them.
yeah,
Well, where was that moment where like that Osama bin Laden moment where like we got him?
yeah.
We got the leader of Hamas or something like that. Like really what happened?
That's exactly what I was gonna say, where it's like, I don't necessarily feel like reparations are
Oh,
super
Mikey's in
helpful.
here. Mikey's in the chat.
No way.
Yo.
Wait, Mikey?
Hey, it's Mikey. Zoom Mike.
Zoom Mike.
This is Zoom Mike.
Mikey, do I work with you? Or did I work with you?
I'm assuming it's Mikey.
What'd he say? How did he get into this? Did you send it to him?
He said, "Yeah, yeah, I just got to CT." I don't know. He probably just saw my. He probably subscribes to my YouTube channel.
Oh, no
Jason,
way.
Jason, Jason wants to know how you got here. Oh, okay.
What'd he say?
He said not currently. Yeah, I just got to.
Not currently what?
He probably was talking. It's probably a lag. It's probably a lag and like
No, well,
us
that's why I
talking.
said not currently.
Not
What?
currently.
What did we say that not
You
currently?
said Mike. Do I work with you?
Oh,
And he said not
oh.
currently.
What's up, Mike? Ah,
Word. Yeah. There you go. See, we got our one concurrent viewer and our 8 views, bro. Yeah, I remember,
sick.
dude. That was a great time when we were doing the because I used to bring all these guys over here and we used to do movie reviews and stuff like that. Which we could
Did you
do
ever
one day.
bring Mike there?
Yeah,
Mike was here. Oh yeah, I remember you
yeah.
telling me
I I'd
about
like
that.
I'd like 4 dudes
You
sitting
know,
here.
you know, I hung out with Mike like a few weeks ago.
I believe it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we went fishing.
yeah. I know. Yeah, you guys went on the rocks and stuff like that. Like
No,
right,
no,
or is that a
after
different time?
this,
Oh,
after
okay,
that, we went again.
okay.
He's getting ready for the big fish,
Oh yeah, the Mexican movie.
which is gonna come out after the storm. This happens every year. This is like a fisherman thing
Yeah, I know.
here.
Yeah,
There's a big storm in the
nor'easter.
fall. Yeah, like a nor'easter, and the big fish pull up after. So
Okay, we gotta go out, bro. Yeah, I mean, I had all these guys here a long time ago. We streamed. I'm trying to remember. Was it El? I don't know, what Mexican movie did I show you guys? Like, do you remember what Mexican movie I showed you? I'm trying to think. It wasn't El Tupo.
Mike
It was
probably hated it.
no Mike fuck with it,
Mexican movie.
bro. Just because like you don't know shit. You don't know your fucking apple
No,
your
no, I'm
elbow, but it's
saying
like
Mike liked something
yeah,
that was Mexican.
yeah. Why not? Um, he likes.
Why not?
He has to. Why not?
Come on, what do you mean, why not?
What do you mean? Why not? That's exactly what I meant. I'm trying to think. Like, I'm trying to think. I don't know if it was hmm, I feel like was it the Holy Mountain? I don't remember. Mexican movie about Jesus. I think the stream broke. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Stream broke?
Yeah, when we were doing it, like something happened.
Oh, I thought.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think that sounds right. I think it was probably the Holy Mountain. I think we all watched it here. Like me, Zach, Kyle, like a bunch of people. We're sitting here watching. We're just talking about it. It was just yeah, the Holy Mountain. Okay, good. That's a good movie to watch on stream because it's like so like I don't think we watched. I don't know if we watched it on stream. I think we just talked about it. If I believe that is correct, but yeah, it's by this weird Alejandro something. No, who's that movie by? But it's this weird movie. My God, it's so strange. But I mean, this is kind of like one of these movies where it's you know it can only be made. It can only be made back in the day. Who made this? Alejandro Jodorowsky. But it's a weird. There's like no real plot to it, really. Um, it's kind of just like images, because like all these dudes back then, like the '70s, like when they were making movies, they were just like taking acid and like making movies. That's what was happening. Some of the best
Yeah,
movies were made like that.
that's like everything related from the 70s to the 90s. Everything is just like, yeah, like, we were doing drugs.
Yeah, we're doing coke,
Yeah.
doing a lot of coke.
Doing acid, we were getting really drunk. I was dating a 13-year-old and I was 20.
I was watching this clip on whatchamacallit, on Instagram. It was like this clip of like I want to say it's from like The Price is Right, and this like 17-year-old had to be. She was like, "Oh, I've been waiting for this moment like for so many years," and like the old host of like, well, who's the old host of like The Price is Right? Um, like the old host uh was like, "Oh wow, how many years have you been waiting? Should we even have a show?" Like, this dude had to be like
It was
yeah,
probably like,
Bob Barker, this old asshole. he was like so excited that she was like so into him. He was like, giving her kisses on the cheek and like holding her like this, and you're just like, and I'm just sitting here watching
Yeah,
this.
they're
And you're
putting
just
their
like,
head like
yeah,
this. They're like
yeah,
squeezing the
yeah,
shoulder, like
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And you're just like, and he's like, oh, go ahead, sweetie. Whisper right here. How old are you? And he's like, just right. She probably said 16 or 17 or something like that. And you're just like, this is fucking creepy. That's how it was back then with these fucking freaks, man. I mean, like, I'm not a, a shrew by any mean, but it's like, like, like this, that shit was so fucking strange back then. But anyway, yeah, we used to do that. I think we got to have another movie night with Jason. We're gonna have to show him the Holy Mountain probably, and let him watch all that strangeness, or maybe another movie that's like more accessible. Maybe we can watch something that's like, I mean, I would love to stream a movie here and talk about it while we're watching. That would be like the best if we had like a movie night here. Like that would be
Yeah,
perfect.
that's what you're into.
You know,
You know.
we don't have to do that. Obviously, we can keep talking about Israel for
No, I
another
mean I'm
25
down.
episodes,
I
but
love I love talking about Israel.
bro,
I
I love
love
it, bro.
talking about the
Bro,
Jews.
I love doing it.
I love,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people right now waking up.
Mhm.
There's a lot of people, it's like the great awakening of
Mhm.
the Jews and the issues they cause and the power that they have. And I love just spreading that because,
Yeah.
a lot of my dad used to always tell me about the Jews and how they control everything and how they think they're better than everyone and so on and so forth. And it's just nice to, because the whole time, when I was young, I'd push back on it, I'd be like, oh, they're not all like that and all that and everything. I had this like liberal mindset when it came to that. And it's nice to finally, in a sense, wake up and kind of realize, oh, well, he was right. And like, yeah, it's not all of them, but it's
Mhm.
most of them.
Right.
And yeah, what they do is bad. I used to think, yeah, maybe, like it's not really fair and whatnot, but like they work there to get there, and it's like, no, like they didn't really work there. Their parents and their grandparents and their grandparents and whatnot abused the old systems so that they could abuse the new systems. And it's a beautiful thing, I feel like, to spread that, because people try to make the argument that like, I've seen like like some edits and stuff on like Instagram about how like 70 or 80% of like presidents have like Irish background, like, oh, like the Irish control everything. Like, look at this. And it's like,
Yeah, I
bro,
see that.
shut the fuck up. That's how it's supposed to be. In the 1700s and the 1800s, Europeans, white Europeans control this country.
Right.
And they built this country. And they built other countries and whatnot. That
Right.
actually makes sense historically. But take a tiny percentage of people, the Jews,
Mhm.
and they're weaseling their way in to get this power. And they're abusing the system. See, the Irish didn't abuse the system.
Well,
They showed up.
every ethnic group had their system. Right. And like I think right now, I think the Jews, like especially Hasidic Jews and whatnot, like a lot of people don't know. They don't pay they make their house into a place of worship, and they don't pay property taxes. And then they like I work in government housing and stuff like that. And then what they do is they knock their chick up 14 times, and that chick is getting SNAP benefits, um, uh, welfare benefits like SSSI, they're getting food stamps and whatnot, like all this free stuff. And like they're obviously married, but they're just smart enough to not do it in like the um on government paper basically, and not let the government know like, hey, I'm not married and I'm just getting all this free money flowing to me, and like my house is paid for, my food's paid for, and we're all good,
Yeah.
you know. And like that's just objectively abusive. Now, like that's objectively abusive to like the government's money and taxpayers' money and stuff like that. And there's
Yeah.
no like actual good that they're serving besides their own in group. Now, like, you bring up the Irish, like, we're both Irish. I think a lot of people are. And like
I'm not
oh, you're
Irish.
not? Okay. But there you go. I was assuming. I know I'm Irish, and like, there's a lot of people when Irish people came to this country, like, there's a lot of them that ended up becoming police officers and stuff like that in the 50s, 60s. Now, that right there, you don't think that like the Irish people or like the Irish were like elected officials, and even beforehand, the 20s and 30s, were abusing some kind of pension system for themselves, just like how the Italians abused the union system for themselves. Like, you ever watch The Sopranos? It's like that. Half of the plot is how do I get the no show? Like, is them abusing the electrical unions, the plumbing unions, the construction unions constantly to allow themselves to get money from job sites and stuff like that. So it's not
No,
like
no,
that.
no, no.
Any,
You're
it's not.
right.
Yeah,
You're right. But the biggest issue is the fact that the Irish and the Italians would allow others in. The Jews do not allow others in. The Jews do not allow others in. You look at all of these places, Jewish owned business, they might hire for their squabble, for their littlest, lowest paid shithole jobs, they might hire other people than everyone else. Jew. Jew. The
yeah.
highest ups are the Jews in these companies that are Jew run because they only take care of themselves and they will push other people away. The Irish and the Italians, they don't push you away because you're not Irish or Italian. That's the biggest issue.
I mean, I somewhat agree with that. I mean, it just depends. Like, I think a lot of like, there's not like, I think there's a lot of like Hasidic Jews that only want to hire Jews, and that's 100% like,
Well, it's
their
also
pariah.
illegal. You got to think
Yeah, of
too that
course.
there's discrimination laws and like they do that, but they get away with it. And what's funny too is, there was the whole thing where it was like, oh well, like discrimination laws don't even work because like if there's a white guy that runs a business and he only hires white guys, like there's no proof that he's not hiring the black guys and whatnot.
Right.
It's pretty obvious with these guys. If you show up to work with a goofy hat and curly hair, and everyone around you has a goofy hat and curly hair, and there's a bunch of other people applying that don't have a goofy hat and curly hair, but they never get hired. That's pretty obvious, but they don't get punished for it.
Well, I mean, I don't think these even people they do the hiring, but like I don't even think they
Well, they have illegal businesses. They don't even like
well, they definitely have illegal rentals, which we know about. Right. They are obviously like over occupying whatever like unit they have, and like it's not up to code and it's not passing an inspection. But I think what they'll do is that like like when they have like a Jewish bus company or something like that, they're gonna have like regular Gentile dudes, like men or women, um, driving those buses because they don't want to, they're not gonna go out and get a CDLB, something like that.
that's what
Like
I'm saying, dude. They give
they're
them
too busy drinking coffee at the shul or something like that, just chilling. So like yeah, they'll hire you, but like they're not like it's not the greatest people to work for or anything like that. And yeah, like
it's illegal, it's morally wrong.
it's
There's
yeah.
a The list goes on, and the Jews are the only ones that do that. The Italians, yeah, like they took advantage of the unions.
Yeah,
You don't have to be Italian to join the union.
of course
If
not.
you're not Italian and you try to join the union, you can get into the union. The Irish, with like maybe the politics, I guess, that's like a fake thing to try to make fun of the people who are like, oh, the Jews control everything. If
Oh,
if
you're
you
talking about
try
like
to if you
you're
try
talking about the
to
CEO thing though. That's what
no no no, I'm
okay.
talking about like it's like literally like oh like 70 or like 80% of presidents have Jewish heritage. Or I'm sorry,
70
no, no,
80%
no,
of
no, no, no,
presidents?
no, no, Irish heritage. I'm sorry,
Oh, okay.
Irish heritage.
Okay.
Uh, and people are like, yeah, like oh, like you could say the Irish control everything because of that, and it's like, no, dude, America was built on so many people that came to America originally were Irish,
Yeah.
so they were very widespread throughout America. And the difference is that these Irish people that are in power will hire you even if you're not Irish. But the Jews won't do that. And if they do, they're giving you shit jobs and they make fun of you and they make you feel like shit and they pay you like shit.
Mm.
Versus like if a place was fully run by Irish people, right? The higher ups are all Irish. If you're like some fucking, I don't know, if you're Polish, they'll still hire you.
Yeah.
And they'll let you climb and whatnot. It doesn't matter. They don't care. But if a place is run by Jews and you're Polish and you apply, they probably won't even hire you. And if they do, they're giving you a shit job and they're not letting you climb
I think
because they
that
do care. They
I think
do
I
care.
think I think to some degree you might be generalizing just a teensy weensy bit, but I mean I understand what you're getting at. We were like, yeah, like they like, but every group has their kind of like in group, right? And it's usually racially or ethnically motivated to some degree. Um,
But the
you
Jews
know,
do it to an extreme.
yeah, I mean,
I
maybe.
don't think I'm wrong on that. Like look at so many companies want to look at the media in general. Look at movie production.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a business that was mainly created by Jewish men out in Hollywood.
And they
You're
hire
absolutely right.
other Jews. And like you gotta like you notice like a lot of the let's say actors and whatnot aren't Jewish, but the people who make the movies and
Usually,
whatnot are Jewish.
yeah,
And then these new directors that come out are Jewish, probably because their Jewish friend or their Jewish family member is already big in it. Like, yeah, we're gonna push yours, and like, oh, this other like this Polish guy, this Irish guy that's making a movie. I don't want nothing to do with his movie
right.
because it's
I
these
could
big
somewhat see that.
companies.
I could
Yeah.
somewhat see that, like maybe back in the day. I think it's gotten to the point where I think that yeah, there's gonna be like always like a Jewish producer or someone like behind the scenes that's like making a bunch of money. Maybe that they are Jewish, but like I don't think that every single story, for instance, is gonna be all about like being a Jew or something like that. Or every single
Well,
writer,
yeah, of course not. Of
right?
course not.
Right.
Absolutely, of course not.
You know.
Even like I mean, like the Jewish people, like the Jewish writers, directors, or not. They don't make only Jewish content.
No, but they what I think you're right where like there is like a predilection of like I think about like comedy for instance like I think about like Seth Rogen and like Michael Cera and like Jonah Hill. I'm like okay, and like Jerry Seinfeld, Larry David. These are all like big Jewish comedians and stuff like that. And yeah, Jews are very funny. You know, like I love Don Rickles for instance, but like yeah, like there is like a like maybe a preference for them to like hire their own kind, like and I think that's like real. I think that's real in every business, like exactly what I was saying, where I was like maybe back in the day, like it was easier for you to become a cop. It'd be easier for me to become a cop like back in the 50s or something like that because I had like an Irish friend that was also me and him were both Irish, and that's like how you moved up, you know?
Well, I'd say that's the biggest difference. Where back in the day, that was super true for every race or culture. But now that's not true for every race or culture. Like if you ran
Well,
an
maybe you want to
accounting
believe, maybe
firm,
maybe you want to believe that's how it is.
no, but if you ran an accounting firm and you get all these applications,
I'm choosing the white guy.
first of all, if you're really smart, you're choosing the Jew. But
Yeah, I know.
but no, like realistically though, it's like, if it's all about credentials. Whoever's best fit for the role. It doesn't matter what they are, who they are.
Right.
But if a Jew ran that company, that goes out the window. A Jew applied, the Jew gets hired.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not gonna.
100%, a hundred
I'm
percent.
not gonna sit here and generalize it to be like, yeah, every single one, no matter what.
I'm not saying every single one, but it's like the majority, the big majority. That shows
I
through
don't know.
government.
Yeah, yeah,
At the highest power of control and power. It shows through that. Every government official has an APAC person that they talk to before they speak about anything publicly. You can look that up,
yeah. I
dude.
mean, I believe that that's 100% like part of like the Republican Party and everything like that. That's just how it works. Like with
The
politicians.
Democrats too. It's
Yeah, of
all of them,
course.
bro. I'm
Yeah, of course.
telling you, it's all of them.
Yeah, 100%. Like it's just one of those things where it's yeah, they have a mouthpiece on the media and everything like that. Yeah, you're 100% right about all that kind of stuff. I'm just not like thinking about like the like hiring process and like more. I think more or less I'm more worried about like the actual country of Israel affecting how you know our government kind of operates. Like who like obviously like earlier this year we had Trump attacked Iran, right? And again, all the boomers in my life are like sitting there being like, "Oh well, we had to do it." Like you don't understand. Like if they got a nuke, that's the end of the world. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I guess. Um, according to you, of course, according to
Yeah,
according
yeah.
to boomers, according to boomers, where like their whole worldview is, the bad guy has a nuke, and if this happens, we are gonna it's the end of the world. That's their whole worldview. That's all they can think about. Is like a nuke dropping on their head, and the world ending. But really, like we attacked them because Israel asked us, and
Yeah.
Israel just doesn't like Iran. And I understand why. Like Iran's not like the most perfect country. Like it's a Islamic
Yeah.
religious state that operates under Sharia law, and at one point in the set, like before 1979, was a very progressive nation, and it's just like, yeah, are they most perfect people? No, but like they really weren't doing anything. Like if Israel's allowed to have a nuclear bomb, and
Yeah, yeah.
if they want a nuclear bomb, I'm sure it's a mutually assured destruction. Should we try to get nuclear bombs away from people that we don't like? I guess so, but why don't we start with our own ally? I mean, Israel famously built a nuke in secrecy,
Yeah.
and we just sat there and
Yeah.
we're just like, oh, okay, and we just let that happen, and like we never did anything about it realistically. We just kind of like we're like, okay, that's cool. Yeah, you're our boy. Yeah, you're our boy. You can have a
Well,
nuke.
yeah, why do you think we
Um,
didn't do anything about it? Why do you
well,
think
of
it was
course,
so okay? Yeah.
yeah, that's what happens, and it's just like you know, it, that's what I really worry about. I'm not really worried about getting hired by a bunch of Jews at the accounting firm one day. Like, I don't really give a fuck about that. If a bunch of Chinese people or Italian people want to only hire Chinese and Italian people, I'm like, realistically, like, you probably should just be allowed to do that in this country. And I understand why the law was even created in the first place back in the 60s, like for discrimination reasons, because all those laws were created in the 60s for one reason, is because realistically, black people who built America for a good chunk of it didn't have the same, basically, like
Opportunities.
opportunities and like equity in the country that they really should have had. They should be able to go to good schools. They should be able to get hired, and if the government has to step in and make sure that they do, then or like make sure that they're not getting discriminated against realistically, then they should. Like all this crap is not about, oh, the Jews got to hire me. Oh, but that's like how like the gays with the guy with the cake. They got to make the cake for me, bro. You can't just not make me a cake. And the guy's like, I ain't making a cake. You know that famous story from like a couple years ago.
No.
A couple years ago, not even a couple, more like 20 years ago, or 15 years ago. There was this famous like guy in, I want to say Colorado. He was like, I will not make a gay wedding cake. Two guys get married, two girls get married. I won't make it. Right. And the Supreme Court, I believe, sided with him. I don't know if anyone can correct me, but I believe sided with him and said, yeah, he doesn't have to make a cake. But they still harass him. But they were like so insistent, like you have to make this cake. And he's like, no, I'm a Catholic, I'm a devout Catholic, and I don't have to do anything. I don't have to do anything I don't want to. And basically, like that's how I feel about most of these stuff. Where it's like, why
I
does
feel
someone
like that's kind of different though,
why?
because doing a service versus hiring somebody is different. I feel like you definitely can understand that.
To some degree, yeah. If you don't hire someone, like if you do not hire, if I don't hire you on the basis,
Well,
like say
it's the
I'm,
same thing. Let me say this. It's the same thing as the issue that white people face today, where a college might not accept you because you're white
or Asian.
or Asian. A job might not accept you because black person applied.
Mm.
It's the exact same thing. See, like I believe in total like fairness of the fact where it should just totally be whoever has the highest credentials should get it.
Okay.
And now obviously the business has personal choice of choosing who they want to work and for whatever, but that's not credential based in a sense. That's more just like, all right, let's say I do an in-person interview,
Right.
and the person with the technically higher credentials didn't do as good as the person with lower credentials. That's one thing.
Right.
But solely base it off of race or religion is another thing. That's completely different.
Hmm.
And I feel like it's not necessarily right to do that. And whether I think that should be a law or not, I don't fully know. I can't say that I fully have a exact answer to give where it's like, do I think it's like I feel like a business shouldn't judge someone based off of race.
I agree. I agree.
But also like there's a
Like
line between
there
it,
shouldn't
and
be a
I don't
law.
know I don't know where the line should be exactly. It's a hard law to make, you
Well,
know?
it's a hard law to enforce, so it's like you shouldn't be like rejecting someone um on the basis of race. Like, yeah, he looked good on his resume, and then he came and I saw he was black, and I didn't hire him. That's
Yeah.
horrible.
Well,
That's
that's what
wrong.
I'm saying, yeah.
That's wrong and horrible. Um, you know, uh, but realistically, you probably should be able to hire whoever you want, regardless, right? Even if it's like the Jewish deli down the street, and like five Hasidic Jews apply and one non doesn't. And you're like, I'm gonna go with one of these other kids. You know what I mean? Like, not because the kid's white or regular or whatever. Just because, like, I know this other kid and, like, I'm going to hire him. I know his family. Like, I'm just going to hire him. I don't think that's exactly discriminatory. You just have a preference on
Well, that's not
who
discriminatory
you
for
want to
sure.
hire.
No, that makes
And it
complete
makes
sense.
sense because it's like, yeah, he's gonna know all the customs essentially that go along
My
with
main issue
this
is
mainly Hasidic Jew bakery or something like that.
my main issue is only hiring based off of that.
Yeah.
Whether like, there's a guy super qualified
But
for
it's
a
like,
job, extremely
but what if
qualified.
nobody comes into that place and applies, and you only hire people that look like you, or you only hire your family?
Well, if no one's applying, then and you're hiring people that are your family or like people,
Yeah, and then there shouldn't be a problem.
that's not a problem. Yeah, that's
But
not a
that's what I'm saying.
problem.
Like
But I'm
there
saying
is
like if
situations like
there's
that
but
though.
there's like higher end jobs. A deli I feel like isn't a great example. I'm talking about more jobs where degrees are involved and whatnot. Where it's like, oh well, I just bought this. I'll use accounting firm again. I just bought
Yeah.
this accounting firm, and I'm a Jew,
Mm.
and now I have a bunch of people from all over applying, and
Yeah.
I'm only hiring Jew, 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 Jew.
You're probably gonna get fined.
No, you're not.
That's probably what's
They
gonna
never
happen.
do. They never
Well, it
do.
takes a long time to prove something like that.
And the Jews get away with it so much more. So much more. So much more. And people might say, oh, well, what about black people? There's black owned businesses, black run businesses. It's all black people.
Hmm.
And it's like, yeah, but like white people aren't applying there.
I
Because
know.
that's like a restaurant,
Yeah.
you know? That's like a soap making company.
Yeah.
That's not
Maybe.
like a job where you need a degree to run the job, to do the job.
Right.
But there's plenty of jobs where Jews own it, and all they hire is Jews, and there's hundreds of thousands of people that apply, and all they do is hire Jews.
Yeah.
That's an issue. And there's
Yeah.
no other people that's doing that.
Yeah.
There's no other, like, tell me another person, another type of people that is doing that.
I don't really know.
Because there's none.
Yeah.
Maybe Muslim people do that a bit,
Yeah. Maybe.
but that's not an issue that we have in America yet, as of right now. It is in, like, Dearborn, Michigan, but, like, I couldn't tell you really where else.
Yeah. Maybe. Maybe. I
But
don't
that's
know.
just as bad what they're doing there. And it obviously shows too. It obviously shows. But
Yeah.
you want to wrap this thing up?
I'm thinking so. Yeah,
So
it's just pretty
yeah,
late. I gotta. I
we
have.
went through everything on the list besides we're talking about Trump being the peace president, but we didn't mention why Trump wants a Nobel Peace Prize. It's because Obama got one. That's
Yeah, it's
about
pretty
it.
simple.
Yeah, he wants one because
Obama got one
yeah,
for pretty much no reason, and you know what Trump wants? He would like one
yeah,
as
he
well
wants
for no
one too.
reason.
He wants
And
to flex.
it's all about ego.
He wants to swing his dick around as much as he can. Nobel Peace Prize would let him do that.
Yeah,
So
pretty much, pretty much. I
yeah,
mean, like, it's whatever. It's like a fake. It's a like all words. It's fake and stupid, and like who
yeah,
gives a shit about it? You know. I
yeah.
mean,
It's like
you have to be kind of a clown to be like, oh my god, I need. It's like these actors are like, I need an Oscar. Like,
yeah,
or like people are like, he should have an Oscar. Like, it's not
it's
enough to be a multimillionaire actor
yeah, yeah, literally. Like
and acclaimed and all
like
this other
it's
stuff.
not enough to be the president
Yeah,
twice.
it's not enough to be
Twice.
president twice. I need
The
a
max
Nobel.
amount you can be.
We'll see with Trump.
Well, yeah,
Well,
well, unless he gets impeached and removed from office or killed.
I'm saying, like he's already floating. You know him with floating the 2028 stuff and whatnot. But yeah, we'll see. But I mean, like, yeah, he just wants it. It's not enough to just be president. He wants to be. He wants a pat on the back, and it's again, it's all about just like because Obama had it, and like he's like,
Literally,
he
it's
deserves
because
it.
Obama
Yeah,
got one.
yeah.
But yeah, it's about it, guys.
Where's the war prize? Agreed, Mike. Agreed. Where's the wars prize? You know, they should give that out to fucking. They should give that out to the last five assholes that were president, basically.
What do you mean the war prize though? Like prize for what?
I think he's just joking.
I mean, yeah, but
Because there's the Nobel Peace Prize, and he's like, "Where's the war prize for
yeah,
like who gets the prize for causing
but
war?"
no, Mike, he might be talking about like the peace of Trump. You know, he might be talking about where's the war prize for stopping the war.
I don't know. He didn't stop. He stopped. He negotiated a ceasefire as soon as his money was getting bombed.
Yeah,
That's pretty much
yeah.
it.
What would he say? He just said so.
Like Nobel War Prize. I think that should go to
Yeah.
Putin for invading Crimea and invading Ukraine.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know what? These should be Russia again.
yeah.
I'm like, all right,
I want that.
that's noble. That's a Nobel War Prize right there. Yeah, I want that, and I need that. That should be part of the acceptance speech in Russian. He's like, you know, go, 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 go. I want that. Translation, I want that, and I need that. All right? Talking about the breadbasket, talking about Ukraine, talking about Crimea. I need that. Give me that. Right? Because they took that from me. That's what he's saying in his head. They took that.
Yeah. They
You
took
know,
it from me.
actually,
Before me.
before me, in 1630,
Yeah.
they took that shit from me. It's a candidate. Net in Yahoo. The net in Yahoo. The drink Yoo-hoo.
Well, that's what.
Yoo-hoo.
Yeah, I saw it on Alex Jones' show
Yeah.
with Kanye. He's got the net, the yoo-hoo.
I know, yeah. I saw that. Mike's talking about the Tucker podcast with Putin. He's talking about like
Oh, I just saw that today.
when Putin and him are sitting there and talking, he's like bringing up like legit like 500-year-old history about
Yeah.
Russia, and you're just like, okay, I guess you know doesn't mean you should just like roll in there and like invade some peeps, you know? Yeah, exactly. Mike's right. They had it when they were Vikings, so they need it back now.
Yeah.
The Roman. I mean, in that case, should we just give all of Europe and parts of you know, the
Well, we
like,
should. America's only a few hundred years old. Like,
yeah, we should just
all of America should be given back.
well, I was gonna say Mexico should go back. Mexico should take back all of California and everything like that. But it's like,
Yeah.
you know, but this is the stupid ass justifications you would make if you're like waging war in a Western. I mean, Ukraine's not really Western European, but like a European country, you know, and you're trying to look for justification to some degree, like, yeah, fuck it.
Yeah.
You know, we got to get that shit back because, you know, um, some fucking king of Russia, whatever. Why don't we just return everything to the Roman Empire or something like
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, it should be all Italy's, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, France. I mean, you know, fuck it. I mean, they got to get that shit back now,
Give it
right?
all back to them. Yeah. Right now, or like, or you know, at least we should give them, you know, billions of dollars worth of reparations. You know.
We did fuck them over.
Yeah, we fucked them. We fucked them.
Or someone did, and we don't even know who.
Yeah.
Hopefully, the history would get so muddled up that like no one knows who gets fucked over. So then, and eventually we'll get into a point where history is getting so insane that everyone's got their hand down. They're like, yeah, I deserve it. I deserve it, you know? Anyway, our camera is about to die, actually. And we got to wrap this up because I have to go to
We
bed.
gotta